All right, so here we are. We are on day 2 of this 5-day challenge, which I was trying to cancel because I was going through some intense physical symptoms. But you know what? We're all here, so I'm just going to keep going as long as I can, and we're going to see what we can accomplish here because the energy is fire. It is intense. It is purging and clearing us on the deepest levels. We have a Pluto square Mars. Mars just went into Aries. It's the first day of Mars in Aries. This is action energy. So Mars has been in water for about a month. It's been in Pisces. It's been swimming with the fishes. We've been swimming underwater, wondering, where am I? What's happening? Where am I going? Now Mars is in its action energy. Mars rules Aries. It's fire. It's leadership energy. So you may be feeling like action is happening. For me, it was happening in my physical body today. Action is happening. Stuff is moving. If you're out there in the world and you're feeling heat in your head or intensity around your head, that could be Mars energy because Mars in Aries is related to the head. Okay, so hot head, heat, overthinking is the negative. And then taking action, stepping into leadership, me choosing to just do this even though I didn't know if I could, that's Aries energy. Okay, so along with that powerful activating Mars energy, we also have the planet Venus, the sun, and Mercury coming together in Taurus. And so we have this very strong feminine energy because Taurus is ruled by Venus, the planet of love. So if you have some big things you're looking to grow or create in the material world, this is a really, really good time for that. And on the inverse, we also have all this Pluto-Mars action going on. So I'm going to share screen with you all, and we're going to jump into some beautiful imagery to clear out anyone, including myself, that might be having stuff coming up today or stuff clearing out of your energy field. And let's just see if we can drop into some beautiful energy now that we are here on this call together. Welcome, Victoria. It is your first day with us, day 2. Glad you are here. Andoni, you're here. This is awesome. We're just going to dive into what does Mars going into Aries look like combined with all of this Venusian energy. Like we have this very strong Venusian feminine energy, Venus, Mercury, the sun coming together in Taurus. It's like the fertile, lush river valley. It's the feminine energy. It's abundance. It's fertility. It's wealth. It's just having this incredible access to the divine feminine spout. Okay. And it's also Mars and Aries fire. And so this video that I'm going to share with you, I want you to just let yourself feel into what does it feel like to have the combination of feminine flow, right? Feminine flow, feminine beauty, feminine expression with the activating power of Mars, because that's what's happening right now. Mars is in its sign. Mars is in Aries. Mars is in the sign that it rules. And so it becomes strengthened. It becomes really strong. The masculine is activated. It's energized. There's a lot of courage in the air. There's a lot of kind of waking up from like a deep sleep. Like all of a sudden today, you know, we are waking up. It's like we've been swimming in the water, Mars and Pisces, and now we're waking up, and it could be a little bit jarring. It could be a little bit like, hey, you know, where's my peaceful flow? Well, we also have Taurus, the grounding energy. So let's play with that and let's see what that looks like. Where are you called to take action on a dream, on a vision, on something excited for a long time? Yes, it will be recorded. I'm going to be talking to you right now while I'm natural. So I'm going to just give you get into a sleep state.
is chopping up
The
the
au-
audio.
the audio is not working, huh?
Now I hear you better.
Okay.
I don't know if it's the same for everyone.
Okay.
This fascination with freedom in your head. You call me, you call me, you call me, this introduction to the peacefulness of your stance. Now you call me, you call me, you call me, you call me. Nothing is true. Like beats on the wind, and spider webs breaking out of innocence. No good is true. Like beats on the wind, and spider webs breaking out of innocence. No good.
Okay, so take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out.
Beats on the wind, and spider webs
Breathing in. Breathing out. Good. I'm just going to ask for a complete, unconditional love, blessing, and clearing for all of you out there, for all of the participants, everyone watching, clearing out any negative energies in the collective that may be around you, anything and everything that may not belong to you. We command it to leave your field, to leave the energy space. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, covids, and beyonds. Anything and everything that could be in any way interfering with your ability to center and ground in this moment. Anything around you, anything within you, we're just going to destroy and uncreate it all. Good. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Right and wrong. Good and bad. Pod and pock. All nines. Shorts. Boys. COVIDs and beyonds. Good. And just notice how much more clear you feel. How much more centered. Quieter in your body. I'm going to just ask the Divine Earth Mother to surround you and hold you so that you can feel grounded and connected to the earth in this now moment. Breathing in and breathing out. Fantastic. Okay. So I want you to think about your life, and I want you to think about what it is you want to create, because that's why we're here. We want to know our destiny so that we can focus our minds, our hearts, and our bodies towards what we are here to create. And it is in the joy and it is the enthusiasm that we will know what is right and aligned for us. What brings us the greatest joy? What gives us the greatest passion? So think about that for a moment. What is it in your life that gives you the greatest sense of joy, the greatest sense of happiness, the greatest sense of fulfillment? What is it in your life that when you do it, your heart opens, you feel laughter like a child, free? Think about it. What is it? What are you doing when you feel that way? Where are you? Who are you with? What does it feel like? What does it look like? That's right. That is your destiny calling. That is the pull of your highest self, your highest wisdom guiding you. And so if you've been wondering, what is it? That, my friends, is the first step. That feeling. You're laughing, you're smiling, you're giggling, you feel happy, you feel fulfilled. That is what following our destiny and our path and our purpose feels like. That's right. And as we come together in that space, we amplify it, we empower it, and we become even more aligned to why we are here. That is how we know. And so today is all about diving into how your star chart can reveal a specific area of your life, a purpose that when you work on it, you grow towards this great happiness that you seek. So if you feel like it now, I want you to just shake out your arms, your legs. I want you to slowly come back into your body. I want you to just move and just let yourself be a human in a body, a being on this earth, expressing your aliveness, that you have the ability to move and be and feel, and that you are blessed and beautiful in this moment and here. And just feel your beautiful hearts. Your beautiful hearts are shining right now. They're starting to glow. They're starting to feel full. You're starting to know. And it is beautiful. And this is alignment. And this is good. Yes. And this is good. That's right. That's right. Beautiful. Welcome. Welcome. And that's where we begin. We begin from our hearts. We begin from this present moment so that together we can co-create some miracles. We can create some openings towards who we really are. So, that said, welcome to day 2 of activating your soul mission, aligning to your soul purpose. Okay? We are here on this earth because we chose to be here right now at this moment in time. Because if you are here, you have a divine soul purpose. You have a mission. You feel it. Every day you wake up and you are pulled to take action. And sometimes you don't know why, but you do. And you go to bed with this yearning in your heart to achieve. There's something you're here for. And so it is my goal to guide you as best as I can with this astrological chart back towards you and to give you the knowledge and information that will get you there. Okay. So the astrological chart is a bit like this compass here. It comes from a movie called The Golden Compass, where a little girl found this device called, I think, a spectrometer, that she could ask questions to. And then she would line up to one of the symbols, 3 of the symbols, and it would tell her the answer. And so an astrology chart is similar to this in that it can tell us a story. It can give us information about what we ask. It's a bit like an oracle. Okay, so we're going to use your chart today to begin to answer your questions about your destiny and your path and your purpose and why you are here And today's class, of course, is all about the destiny point. But the next 3 days are all about purpose and how we can find purpose through this chart, right? How we can find your direction, how we can find greater clarity. And it's been what has changed my life and allowed me to get back on path again and again. And if you go back and watch day 1, you'll hear my own story of how I used the destiny point to get myself out of rock bottom. I found out what my North Node destiny point was and was able to shift my entire life forwards in a positive direction. So, to get into that, we have to first realize that today is a big day. And as you look at the chart here, you can see there is a crazy amount of energy going on. One thing that's happening is that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 things in Taurus, which is Earth. So there's a certain amount of heaviness today. There's a certain amount of like earthiness, density, material energy, the power to make things happen in the physical world. We might be experiencing things in our bodies because Earth signs relate to our bodies. It might relate to the throat because Taurus rules the throat chakra. So you could be having issues with speaking. You could be having issues with expressing yourself coming up, okay? Plus, the sun is in Taurus, and the sun relates to the heart. Taurus relates to the throat. And so we could be having things around our heart and speaking our heart coming up to the surface today in a big way, amplified, because the ruler, the planet that the sun rules is Leo, and the moon, which is our emotions, are in Leo today. And so there's this really deep connection to the heart. The heart, okay? Moon rules the breasts. Sun rules the heart. That's a lot of focus on this area of our body. You could be feeling a depth of emotion today. You could be feeling a power of emotion. You could be feeling your heart amplified. You could be feeling a soul calling coming to you from the highest realms. And if that's you, what is it? What is the message that you're here to hear? What's coming through for you? Yeah. At the same time, Venus, the sun, and Mercury are together. Communication, the heart, the sun, our soul, Venus, what we love. We want to talk about our soul right now. The sun is shining on our thoughts. We're soulfully activated in our thinking. We're thinking about our soul. We're thinking about our higher self. We're thinking about how we want to grow. We're expanding. We're being illuminated. Mercury is getting very close to the sun. It can get hot there. Our mind may be overheating today. It may be too hot in some ways, like too much. Like, oh, it's like so much, right? And yet Mercury is going to line up with the sun soon, exactly. And we will have Mercury Cassini the sun, which means we will have a day of such beautiful, guided thought, soul alignment. This is coming in the next several days. I will post about it. Okay. So Venus, what we love. The sun, our soul. Mercury, how we communicate. We want to do what we love and we want to talk about it. We want to follow our purpose and we want to communicate about it. We want to ask questions. We want to learn. We want to grow. We want to see information that relates to what we desire to create in this world from a heartfelt place. And so that's why you're here. Because you felt a calling. Because the planets aligned in a certain way to create a yearning to come together and learn and grow together today. Okay, and that's why I follow these charts, because they're so accurate and they give us so much information, and they allow us to see why are things happening the way that they are. So many planets are above the horizon line today, right? Like almost all of them. It's a very outwardly focused day. I'm trying to go inward, but the universe is saying, go out, right? So what is it you want to put out into the world in a material way from your heart? That's what this time is asking. What do you want to put out from your soul in a material way that you could make copious amounts of money with? Venus, the billionaire planet. You know it. You know it. That's what we're shifting into on this planet. We're shifting from you can do what you love and have no money, or you can not do what you love and have tons of money. We're shifting away from that paradigm right now. This is a collective shift. This is a huge shift. This is what is happening. This is a huge change in our minds, in our hearts, and in the collective. And you know it's happening. You know that that era is over. It's done. We closed that door. And now we are calling in true divine wealth, aligning to our soul purpose from our hearts and making huge amounts of money, doing what we love. And so that is why it is an even more important time to get clear on what it is that we love. What is it? What's in your heart? Because the paradigm has shifted. You don't have to suppress it anymore. You don't have to hide it. You don't have to shove it away just so you can have money and security. It's about having security now, safety, wealth, and doing what you love. Okay, and so I want to give you permission. If you've still been on the fence, if you've been questioning yourself, if you've been wondering, can I really make this work? Yes. If it is in your heart, if it is in your soul, then I see that now more than ever, you have the opportunity to get out there with what it is you love and make huge amounts of money. Material. What is Taurus? Physical. Material. What is the sun? Spiritual. What is Venus? Love. Bringing what we love from our spiritual higher self, bringing it down into the physical form so we can see it, we can hear it, we can feel it, we can taste it, we can touch it, we can hear it. It's there. Graspable. There, right there. That's what this time is about. That's why manifestation is so hot right now. It's so hot. It's just the biggest topic there is, because we're taking back our power to create. That's what's happening. That's what's happening. If you've wondered what's going on the planet, we are taking back the throne, Sun and Taurus, in our ability to create what we want to have on this planet, materially as well as spiritually. We are taking back that power to manifest in the material realm. Yeah, you notice maybe for 20 years, it's like it was so much harder to manifest. It's like you'd struggle, you'd imagine, you'd work. And now it's just think about it, and then there it is. That's what we're growing into. And with great power comes great responsibility for defining exactly what it is and aligning to what is highest priority for you to create. And that is why I'm here. That's why I've been guided to be here to facilitate and assist you to have the best, make the best aligned choices for yourself towards your highest path. And that's what these charts can show us. That's what today is about, is the destiny point. It's the destiny point. So as long as I can sit here, I'm going to stay and do my best to get you that information. Okay? Destiny point can't be messed with. So the destiny point.
Thank you very much, Lotus.
You're welcome. This was a bigger day than I ever thought it would be. Okay, so destiny point 22 degrees of Pisces for the collective. All of us right now, what is our destiny? Is it to work hard and struggle and do a 9 to 5 and give to the point where we have nothing left and overwork? No, that's the past. Why do I say that? With every destiny point comes its twin, its past life point, its karmic point. So we have the karmic past life point, and we have the destiny point, which is what we're growing into. So right side headphones facing up, what we're growing into as a collective. Upside down headphones, what we're moving away from as a collective. And so there's a polarity right now in the consciousness of the collective. Pisces, the soul, the spirit, the spiritual self, and Virgo, where we were and who we were. Being a worker, being someone with a 9 to 5 job, being someone who had to work and work and work and work, because Virgo is the servant. Virgo is the servant. It is the servant of God, okay? And so Virgo people tend to give. They tend to give. They tend to volunteer. They tend to just be constantly working, constantly doing, constantly giving. It's a very physical energy. Virgo is earth. It's the veterinarians, it's the doctors, it's the nurses. When I think of Virgo at its most extreme, I see a doctor and nurse on the battlefield, and there's thousands of wounded soldiers. And Virgo is there administering to every single one without sleep, without rest, barely eating. They're almost dying because they're giving so much. Okay, that's the extreme form of Virgo. That's it in its shadow. And it's positive. It's the midwife who delivers babies joyfully. It's the doctor who goes, the country doctor who goes and helps everyone. It's the yoga teacher who's always teaching yoga. It's the farmer who has a beautiful plot of land who grows food for the masses. Virgo is always in service to the well-being of the people. It's a beautiful thing, but it takes action, it takes hard work, and it takes energy in the physical plane. Okay, and that's where we were as a collective, very focused on the physical work part. What does it take to make something work? Now, the destiny point is in Pisces, directly opposite, which means as a collective, we're growing away from all of that material world, physical stuff, and into the spiritual core of why are we doing what we're doing? Going on a retreat to get in touch with our soul. Getting out of the grind because we feel a spiritual calling. It's almost like the things that used to make sense to us, the ways we used to be, no longer make any sense anymore. It's like we feeling a calling for something higher, a higher purpose, a higher spiritual fulfillment. And so that means that the energy you do use to work or give or do acts of service needs to be aligned with your soul even more, because you're being asked to do less, right? You're being asked to refine what it is you do so that you spend more time in beingness and less time in doingness. And so if maybe you had a really busy schedule and you worked really hard all the time, and then all of a sudden this last year, you've been taking more time off, or you've been going on retreat, or you've been feeling the call to just be quiet and in your own space for once, that's okay. You're not doing anything wrong. One of the hardest things for Virgo is that it's okay to rest. It's okay to take time off. Right? Imagine going to that doctor or nurse on the battlefield and saying, hey, you can go have a vacation right now. Do you think they could feel like they could do that? Virgo feels responsible for the good, the well-being of everyone. So we're learning how to fill up our own cup Pisces North Node, to be the good for everyone. Do you see? Yeah. Very different path right now. Very different. So if you felt a little confused, because if you think of our culture, it's like work, 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 grind, 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 do, 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 do. And all of a sudden you're stepping off the path, you're going hiking, you're going on a vacation, you're marinating in nature. You might be going, is there something wrong with me? No. You're being called to a higher purpose. You're being called to go within, to illuminate your heart and your soul so you can be creating what it is you actually want. You see, we're getting away from what has been imposed on us for what we have to do, and we're stepping into what it is that we want to build and we want to create. It might take some time off for that. And the reason this is happening now is because this destiny point is going to move into Aquarius next year. Yeah, I almost cry. Whew, because what that means is that next year is going to be about collaboration. It's going to be about coming together. And so if you felt like, why am I taking all this time off? Why am I spending so much time alone? It's so that you can be prepared to come back to the party refreshed, clear, knowing who you are. I don't know why that's making me so emotional, but it's like I just feel this like wave of the collective going, oh, that's what's happening. That's why. Okay. Thank you. So do you see that we are in cycles upon cycles? And so the energy works in certain ways for reasons that we may not always know. And so please never doubt yourself. If your guidance system tells you to take time to go within, please listen. There's always a reason. And if your guidance system says it's time to go out now and talk and connect, that's also for you for a reason. Okay. So I wanted to share with you where those destiny points are at so that we could then be able to look at your destiny points with a greater knowingness of how does it work, right? There's two parts of us. There's the part we're growing away from, and there's the part we're growing into. Yeah. How is that landing for everyone? That was just a huge astrological download. So yeah, anyone want to share anything come up for you with that?
Yeah, I can relate to the feeling of isolation. And I've been saying this whole year, I'm realizing how lonely it is to be an entrepreneur, to run your own business. And it's a lifestyle that I've created for myself. And it didn't bother me up until this year when I really just felt so lonely.
Hmm. That's interesting. When we look at your chart today, maybe we can pull out maybe some of the bigger themes that are operating for you around this. And you know, it's interesting because I know that your destiny point is actually in Leo. And today we have the moon in Leo, right? And so your destiny is actually being greatly influenced by the lunar energies, nurtured, nourished. That's just amazing. So let's go ahead, April, and let's just pull up your chart and look at what's going on for you with these activations. I had some other slides to go over, but I'm just going to go straight in. Yeah, April, I've probably built over 1,000 slides by this point.
I believe it. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it became my art form.
Yeah.
You know, you build a
I
lot of
knew.
slides too.
Yes.
Okay. Miss April Redbird,
Oh.
house. Okay. So we're going to go to April's chart. And I want everyone to notice that her destiny point is in Leo right down here. And so the moon is actually right around here in your fifth house of fun and hobbies today. And then as she moves, she's going to line up at your destiny point, 33 degrees of Leo. What a powerful number. Probably this evening.
Oh, wow.
So I would, I would do some journaling or do some type of meditation around, what is my purpose and why am I here? And really listen, because the moon being there, it's just going to really activate your awareness of this point in your chart. And probably a pretty profound level. So I know we've talked about your destiny point before.
Mhm.
We've got into it. When I look at someone's destiny point, before I even look at their past life point, right? Because those are connected. I like to first look at the sign. So, okay, it's Leo. And I think about, what is Leo energy? Well, Leo is ruled by the sun, so it loves to shine. It's soulful. It is shining. It is fun, right? Leo loves to have fun. It loves to play. It's the divine child.
Mhm.
Okay. And so what is the north node? What is the south node? What is the destiny point? What is the karmic point? So the right side headphones represent what we're growing into, who we're becoming, what we're here for. It's kind of like, God said, or source said, or yourself, your soul said, I've done all these other things. And this lifetime, I really want to focus on developing and strengthening my ability to do this. And that is what the North Node destiny point represents. And so for you, April, that would mean all things related to Leo, like acting, music, performance, costumes, design, things that are very like, I always think of Leo as like South America and like the uh, Rio, like Brazil, Rio de Janeiro, and the Carnival. That to me feels like Leo, like everybody's singing and dancing and it's just full of life and music, and it's just beautiful energy, right? And and so that would be what you're growing into, this sort of full expressiveness of like being the life of the party and shining and being seen, which are probably all very uncomfortable because it is your destiny point. And this is a little bit of the enigma of the destiny point, which is that you tend to come in with your destiny point being the weakest muscle, like being the one thing that you're actually is the most challenging. You're like, what do you mean? Like, isn't my destiny point supposed to be what's really easy for me? I wish that it was, but it's a little bit like how it takes us to get to success. A lot of times we have to climb a mountain, right? We literally like we have to like go through all this stuff to reach the top of that mountain. That's a little bit what our destiny point is like. And so to find out more about it and where we've come from, we then look to our past life point, which is over here in Aquarius. Directly, it's always opposite it. Okay.
Mhm.
And so that means that your biggest, so the past life, this point, South Node, is about our biggest muscle. It's what we come in with that's super developed. And this took me a long time to kind of get this explanation, but once you get it, it will make so much sense. And so this is your overdeveloped muscle. This is like you've spent lifetimes on this. Like you're so good at it that it's so easy to fall back on it. It's like, oh, I'll just do that thing. I'm good at it. Everyone appreciates it. I'm successful with it. That could be like the businessman who's actually here supposed to be a shaman, and he's out working the 9 to 5 job and he's making all this money, but on a soul level, he's so dissatisfied. That would be like a Taurus South Node and a Scorpio North Node, that one.
Mhm.
But for you, April, who you came in as many lifetimes was as a scientist.
Wow.
It was as an inventor or an inventress. someone who created new things, someone who was very involved in technology, someone who was so focused on the collective and being a part of the group and the big picture, thinking about how does what I do affect everyone, right? And then your destiny point is in Leo, which is the exact opposite. So what you're growing into is being the center of attention. Like instead of just being a part of the group, you're here to be seen, right? You're here to stand out, right? You're here to be the star. And that can feel so uncomfortable. Because think about it, you spent lifetimes where you were just part of the group. Like you weren't anything, no one shone the spotlight. It was about everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so to come out and to shine, it could be so uncomfortable. It just could be downright awkward. Like, why am I doing this right now? And I've seen you, you know, I told you about this years ago now. And I've seen you really make strides and like do videos and live challenges where you put yourself out there. And I'm always so proud of you because I know, having seen your chart, what a big stretch that is. Right.
Yeah.
And you also have Saturn, which is discipline and structure and can be limitation right next to it. And so not only is it already a challenge because it's your destiny point, but you got Saturn, who's like, you know, you have to do it a certain way. You have to master it. You have to be, you know, Saturn's a taskmaster. He's just like always telling us how to do it better, how to master it, how to be, you know, be responsible and be disciplined. And it can be kind of a joy kill, especially in Leo, because Leo is like the child, right? So you just want to have fun. And yet there's also this part of you that has to be serious about how you perform.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so something you might do is you might study master speakers and master performers and actors and actresses and just watch them and just learn from them. Because if you just had the destiny point there in Leo, I'd say go out and be a divine child and play and sing and dance and be free. But because you have Saturn there, you have to master this stuff. Like you're not just here to play at being a performer, like you're here to master it. Right. And so studying with the best and really, you know, putting on that business suit, which you're so good at doing. When it comes to performance, when it comes to creativity, when it comes to playing even, like learning how to turn your play into. So I'm just gonna, thank you. Just really allow yourself to play with mastery. Like maybe you could put on professional parties or events with Saturn there, because Saturn can be a business. So maybe you could make a business out of performance and creativity. Right? That's something to think about. The other thing is that it's in the 6th house, which is Virgo's house, which is a totally different energy on top of it. And so it's interesting, Virgo and Leo, because Virgo is so much about the physical routine, diet, health, exercise, physical activity. What's your bedtime? Okay, this is gonna get close to the home. Are you ready for this one?
Yes.
So we looked at Aquarius versus Leo, right? And how those two energies are so different for her. Now we're going to look at the houses. And so the 6th house is about health, diet, exercise, and routine, healing. And the 12th house is about spiritual retreat and mysticism and going within and flow. And so when people have nodes in the 6th and the 12th, with this, the North Node in the 6th and the South Node in the 12th, it can mean that in a past life, you lived in a monastery where your routine was external to you. You didn't have to make a routine because you followed the bells. So when the bells rang, you got up. When the bells rang, you ate. When the bells rang, you did your prayer, you did your meditation. So all of your discipline was sort of externally placed upon you. Whereas in this lifetime now, it becomes your job to create your routines. You have to place the bells. And in fact, one of the big lessons is your routine. It is when you go to bed. It is how much you sleep. It is your diet and your exercise. And it can mean that you really, really struggle with this because it doesn't come naturally. It's not like I can set my schedule and it's all set. It's like, no, it's like you're living in an ocean. And so learning how to make yourself grounded materially is so challenging. It's so challenging. And it could be one of the things that's causing you to not achieve your goals. And that's one of the things that the destiny point and knowing what it is so helpful for. Because if we're trying to reach a goal, we may be struggling because we're not doing something our North Node is asking us to do. Right? We're maybe on the opposite side of it. Maybe we're doing our comfort zone. Maybe we're following the South Node. In April's case, it would mean having no schedule and just doing things when she wants to. And that's probably so cringy for you. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry because I love having a free open schedule too. But when I see Saturn and the destiny point together, I just see until you master that, you're going to be so frustrated. Like it's going to really bother you. Like you're not going to maybe know necessarily what is bothering you, but you're going to like lose energy. And so I'm like putting a gold star on this and saying, how could you make your routine fun? Because it's Leo. Okay, so we have to recognize that Leo is the divine child and children never want to go to bed and they never want to get up early and they always want to jump on the bed and they always want to play. And so what do we do when we have the divine child with Saturn in the house of health and routine? I want you to imagine that you are a divine child and that you are also your divine child's parents. And that you're this magical, beautiful, shining being that your parent self has to think about. I want the best for this beautiful child. What would you design for that beautiful child, right? What would be the ideal way to eat, the ideal way to sleep, that that beautiful shining child self would be the best, would be the healthiest, right? Would be encouraged to do her best. Right. And so looking at it from a different perspective of like, instead of I have to do this thing that feels really heavy and annoying and I don't want to start this routine, how can you kind of see yourself as this beautiful divine being, this soul? I'm just seeing this little sunshine ball, the child self of you. She's so beautiful and she's so talented and she has all these skills and she might need to go out there and be like on the stage and perform. And so your parents are like, well, how do we help her to be the best at what she does? Your inner parent self. And so really give your subconscious for the next couple of weeks to tune into what would my beautiful life look like for this divine child? What would meals be like? What would sleep time be like? And maybe design a beautiful magical bed area where you put like golden sparkles and like you make your bed like something really happy. So it's like, oh, I love going to bed now. What? Like make it fun. Give yourself something joyful about bedtime, something joyful about waking up. And see how that shifts because the destiny point is a bit like a foundation for our purpose, right? Because if we're trying to live our purpose, but we have this life lesson that God gave us to study. So imagine God gave us all a life lesson. Said, here's your life lesson. Now go forth and let's see how well you do with it. And that's your one lesson, right? The destiny point. It's like one of your big major lessons. If you neglect this or ignore it or do something opposite, it's like your foundation is never growing. It's always changing beneath you. And so if you want to build a really strong foundation for your purpose, That's why learning what your destiny point is and then making changes, like I'm giving April some ideas for how she can strengthen it, because it's not something she came in with that was really strong, right? So if I were you, wherever you have your destiny point, whatever sign and house, I would hire a coach for that area of life, because it's just not the strong suit, right? It's like you didn't come in knowing it. So how do we improve anything in our life? Well, ideally, we find someone who has what we want, who's done what we're trying to do. So find someone who has a great schedule that you love, who's super healthy and happy, and think, how could I model myself after them? Right? Like I know our mentor, Joel, has this amazing, personal health assistant. They like work out every day.
Yeah.
Maybe you need to find a friend who you could exercise with, or, that you could set up a sleep schedule with, or something fun, like make it fun, and then you'll be happy. But do you see how she has to make it fun because it's Leo? But she also kind of has to do it because it's Saturn, which is the disciplinarian. So it's like just imagining if you had a child, and you do have a child, right? And
Yeah.
how to make those things that children don't normally like to do, like routine, diet. It's all about health and healing here. It's all about the health of the body, right? Because in your past lives, it wasn't about the health of the body, it was about the health of the spirit. So you're good at that. You're good at nurturing your soul. You're good at nurturing your soul self. But the body in this lifetime, you have the moon there, right? It goes into Virgo as well. So you also have Virgo in that sixth house. Your body, your diet, health, and healing is so emphasized for you in terms of your purpose in this lifetime. And of course, we're going to go over the midheaven, which is another huge purpose point in your chart. We're also going to go over your soul planet, which is another huge way of getting in touch with your purpose over the next 3 days. But the destiny point, it's kind of like if we don't get that part, the other parts won't work. Does that make sense? It's kind of like the hidden success habit. Are you following your destiny point? And that's how you'll know you're really on track, is when you are. How is all that landing? This like came through strong. So
That's great. That's exactly what I'm going through and struggling with. Yeah.
it's not easy. I really put my hat out to all of you and my heart, because having known this information myself and seen it in my own chart and struggled through my own destiny point challenges, it is maybe one of the most challenging lessons we have. It's like a lifetime lesson. But when we keep working on it, what you get are like gold stars from the universe. So the more effort you put into doing those things, the more reward you get. It's like super reward. Because it's super challenge, you get super big rewards. Like I
Yeah.
bet you, the more time and energy you put into creating a beautiful, healthy, healing routine schedule for yourself, the more money you're going to make, the more clients you're going to have, the more success you're going to have. It's like it feeds off each other. It's like a gear. Yeah. So I give you all the encouragement in the world and support, because I know how challenging it is, especially with Saturn there. Like way to go, like trucking through. Like what that means is, as challenging as it is, it means that you're going to be able to become a master at your destiny point. Okay. And it's like a fine wine, it's like a fine cheese. The more it gets better with age. So actually, as you age, your destiny point will become easier and easier for you to actualize, because Saturn is related to age. So if you're like, oh, it's taking so long, why hasn't it happened yet? Like, it's okay. You're just going to be really good at it. Okay. And think how long it takes the masters to get where they are. Long time. Right. So here's something to look forwards to. And I'm really proud of you. It takes a lot to face the destiny point. It does. But when you do, you're going to grow by leaps and bounds. And you already are, and you already have been. And so you're doing really great work. Now, in terms of isolation and what's going on there, that's interesting. Okay. Nothing is directly jumping out at me right now, except the health thing.
Mhm.
That you're maybe being taken away from the group to get yourself very grounded and anchored into your best health habits and routines so that you can rejoin the group next year when the destiny point is on your south node,
Okay.
and you'll have a lot more energy and you'll be ready to handle all the other people. That makes sense. That's my guess now. If I come up with anything else, I'll definitely reach out.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Yep. And I think good things are coming in your money because your money house has Uranus and Jupiter in it right now. So
Mm.
expect the next several years to be pretty exciting when it comes to your cash flow. This is the
Okay.
house of money, right? So, and Uranus is in Taurus right now. So big changes too. Yeah, lots happening here. Okay. Woo! How you doing?
This is landing exactly where I'm struggling, what I'm struggling with. And it's explaining that dream that I shared with you the other day. Like stuff you're talking about. I'm like, oh my gosh, that was my dream. I'm living my dream right now. This is wild.
Right. I think you even sent me a picture of screenshotting you live, and you're like, "That you were in my dream in a live picture,
Yeah, yeah,
live in my dream."
yeah. Everything
Yeah,
connects.
yeah, it does. And the sixth house could relate to the root chakra, and you said you had the color red,
Yeah,
and the body red, definitely. Uh-huh.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic way to go, April. Thank you for diving into this. Was this interesting for everyone? Yeah, yeah,
Thank you.
and powerful. Yeah, whenever I talk to anyone about their destiny point, it's like, can you feel the energy? It gets really like charged.
Yeah,
It's
I
like, oh
I
my God.
particularly loved how you spoke to April about her destiny, what her muscle is prone, and then what works collectively or what she may have to do. It takes away, sorry, I'm outside. It takes away from the sensationalism that sometimes I experience in astrology, and it really grounds it to give her step by step, like
Right.
what she could be encountering, what she's, what is to be expected. And that was really wonderful for me. And when we were doing the introduction, when you said there's a part of us that we're leaving and a part we're going into, and that was so profound for me because I'm identifying with both. So,
Yeah.
sometimes change is taught as if you have to be only on that side of the scale of leaving everything, but being able to dance with the fact that there are things that are common to me that I am leaving, and these are the things, and it's still me that I'm going into. It's not like it's someone else or something else. So that was very groundbreaking for me.
Yes. Oh, fantastic share, Jisoo. And as I've been going along here and sharing the positive, and then it's like there's always like a balanced negative as well. It's like as much as we grow, we're also transmuting old energies, right? It's like you can't build something new without letting go of something from the past. And one of the big ways that's happening right now is in Pluto being retrograde in Capricorn, and that's in your 10th house, April. And so that's going to be happening for the next year as well, which means, old things leaving, old energies leaving, and you transmuting. And what is Capricorn? It's business, it's structure, it's the bedrock. And what is Pluto? It's the great transformer. And so in the collective right now, holy friggin' cow, people who are in big business, CEOs, corporations, the structures of organizations, the structures of businesses, Pluto being the great transformer, Pluto being that which is buried underground, secrets, hidden things, erupting. Pluto is volcanic. I mean, pardon my French, but it'd be a little, things be a bit crazy right now. And it's like the very structure of our culture.
Mhm.
What's been underneath it all this time? Pluto, that's coming out to the surface. And so the best example I can give in the real world of that is I had a water vein explode in town. There was a water vein that exploded. Woo! Water everywhere. And they had to tear up the road and go down and repair the lines. The water got shut off, or like we couldn't use, had to boil the water for a week or something. And then they replaced everything and rebuilt the road again. But it's like, what are we having to kind of go underground, like the bedrock repair from the past so that we can rebuild our structure? And so that's what Pluto in Capricorn retrograde is until September. So as much as we have all these beautiful aspects happening with the sun and Venus, right, and Taurus, right, this big wealth energy, there's also that depth and intensity. And it's like, holy cow, like, oh, right. And so I really want to speak to it because we're all connected. No matter where we are, we're all going through similar energetics. We're all under the same sky. And so those planets are all affecting us in similar ways. Just like the moon affects the tides, each planet has an energy, just like Pluto has an energy, just like Venus and Mars. And that's why seeing where these things are and how they're affecting our birth chart can be so powerful, right? And so for you, April, maybe one of the reasons you've been more alone could be because of this Pluto retrograde in the 10th house, very close to your 11th house, which is society in the world. And so what that could mean is that you're doing a really deep dive in your relationship to your business. Maybe not even consciously, but subconsciously. Emotions, things that were buried, things that you didn't feel or hadn't felt yet are going to be coming up for you to transmute. And so hopefully now I've made some things conscious that were unconscious, because Pluto can be the unconscious. And so a lot of us may not know what we've been feeling, but we've been feeling something like, what is that? That's really big. That's Pluto. Hey,
Yeah.
I'm at your door. And it's the god of the underworld, right? So he kind of is kind of hidden. Like, I was just feeling something. Oh, look down. Look down, right? We don't always look down, right? We're like, oh, la 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 la, until we feel something. So I would imagine that having Pluto retrograde right there, right in the end of your 10th house, it's kind of like you're getting ready for a big comeback, I feel. But in order to do that, you have to kind of heal and clear out the closets and the basements and get yourself clear on a foundational level of what you're creating. And you got Pluto moving towards your Mars and your sun. It's going to take a while. It might be next year sometime, but this is like big transformation for you. This could be Phoenix energy, death, rebirth. And they actually said, they predicted that June was going to have like 3 death rebirth cycles where we like go through some really intense energy and then we're born again. And then we go through some really intense energy and then we're born again. Of course, my mom laughed and said, Lotus, you're probably going to go through way more than that. And I was like, Mom, I was like, you're so right. You know me so well. And so if you have a lot of Scorpio energy in your chart or Pluto energy, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you don't, Pluto is about death and rebirth. It's about our rebirth. It's about letting go of what no longer serves us and almost, dying to the old. And that process can be intense. But the beauty is the rebirth. The beauty is like being born again, being cleaned, like the phoenix that like is burned up and then rises again. You know, the phoenix tears. Yeah. So never be afraid of Pluto. Never be afraid of transformation. It's the step towards rebirth. It's just like the darkest part of the night before dawn. We have to go through that to get to the sunrise.
Mhm.
Not always easy. Hold your friend's hands, right? Count to 3, and then the sun comes again. Okay. So I'll definitely be sure to include that for everyone about the Pluto thing because it's a lot. I have it in my house of the home and family and the rebirth cycles that are happening for me there. Holy cow. So I hear you, I feel you, and it's helpful to know this information. Okay, is there anyone out there? Thank you, April. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's so beautiful. Who would really like to go next, whether you know you have things you need to get to, or you're just like, please pick me. Just go ahead and raise your hand or wait. Anthony, okay. And welcome and way to go being here. Victoria and I, okay. So I really appreciate you joining us and glad you're here. And yes, and Odalie and Victoria, I will get to the two of you next. Okay. Glad you're here. And I'm so glad that my body calmed down enough to be able to sit here. I really didn't think I was going to be able to. I was like, I don't. And then I sat down with you all, and maybe you guys are helping me. So thank you. Wow. Yeah, because I don't tend to cancel my events, right? Just like I'll do it no matter what. I'll do it in the rain. I'll do it sunshine or moonshine or cold or hot. I don't care, but holy cow. All right, there you go. Anthony, do you do Kundalini yoga? Whew, all right, so here we are. We are on day 2 of this 5-day challenge, which I was trying. Do you do Kundalini yoga?
I haven't really dived deep into Kundalini yoga yet.
Well, you're here with this huge gong in the background. And my guess would be that you'd probably really resonate to it. My mom did Kundalini yoga for 10 years. So in an ashram, she woke up every day at 3 a.m. and they chanted and did crazy energy activation postures, which is probably why I'm the way I am. Thanks, Mom.
Wow.
So definitely look into that. I was like, I got to talk to him about that. And
Okay.
where are you calling? Where are you from? Where are you right now?
Right now, I'm in Tijuana, Mexico. This is where I was born.
Oh, wow. Okay. So southern, nice and hot.
Yes.
Yeah, it's hot in California today, like really hot where I am. So must be really hot down there.
Okay. Today's interestingly cloudy for some reason.
Okay. You never know
Yes.
near the coast.
Yes.
Hot or cool. Okay. So it's nice to meet with you. And I've seen you on a couple other calls with my partner, and so glad you're here, who does energy work.
Yes.
And so great, we get to just dive in with your destiny point. First things first. So that's pretty powerful. Wow. So this is kind of fantastic. So you and you and April, in a way, have a little bit of a similarity or an opposite to each other because your destiny point is in Virgo, right? Or not opposite, but it's she has it in her 6th house, which is Virgo's house, and you have it in Virgo, which is the sign of Virgo, and your past life or karmic point is in Pisces. So you're similar to April by the you have the signs and she has it by the houses, if that makes sense.
I see. Okay.
Okay. So you have different houses. So I'll read that as well. But first we'll start with what does it mean to have the past life point in Pisces versus the destiny point in Virgo. So what you're growing into, what your life lesson is the Virgo energy, which is the body, right? Virgo is earth. It's solid. it's material, it's tangible, it's touchable. Virgo people tend to be really good with their hands, making things, right? It's an energy that wants to kind of come onto earth more, right? It wants to touch things. It wants to taste things. It wants to play with the clay of earth.
Mm.
Okay. Whereas the past life point is in Pisces, which is water. So that can mean many past lives as a spiritual practitioner, right? Someone who meditated a lot, who chanted a lot and sang, and could have been a monk or an aspirant, someone who gave vows of poverty or gave vows of abstinence or gave vows to serve God. And so that might be something you really want to look into clearing for both you and April, or any vows when you have South Node either in the 12th house or in Pisces. Vows to not have money, vows to have abstinence, vows to never be in the world, because Pisces is being outside of the world. It's being kind of in the land of the spiritual path, the monks and the Buddhas and and just the Tibetan monks and the Christian monks and the spiritual aspirants, right? That's kind of the energy of Pisces. It could also be having been an artist, a musician, someone who is just like out of the world, right? I often think of this image of Christ walking across the water as being very Piscean, because Pisces is all about our imagination. It's all about fantasy. It's all about dreams and water and spiritual. And so with your past life point in water, you could have a tendency to get lost in your dreams, lost in daydreams, lost in imagination. Like you have a really great imagination, you have really great ability to dream and visualize. Those are all skills. Those are all talents. Could be challenging is the real world things, like your body's health, your body's diet, food. What do you do during the day? What do you do for work? Right? So your daily activities, your diet, your health, and your exercise. Also healing. So Virgo's the sign of the doctor. And it's very specific type of healing. It's not spiritual healing, it's physical, right? So any type of healing where you literally are using the body to heal. And that could be a chiropractor. That could be, tapping is also very physical. That could be acupuncture. Things that involve physical touch and movement of energy. Surgery, being a surgeon, being an actual doctor. Those are all very Virgo energies. Okay. So schedule could be challenging, like learning to set schedules, coming out of the fantasy and actually doing physical world things. That's where you need to go. That's what you're growing into. So when you go out dream building and you actually do something, you actually go somewhere, you actually touch something, you actually taste something, you actually feel something physical, that's so important. Muy importante. It's muy importante. It's so important because you are accessing the physical plane. Whereas in so many past lives, you were just in the oneness field. So imagine in the past life, you're just in the oneness field, you're just flowing in divine, ecstatic union with God. Sounds pretty good, right? You were praying, you were visualizing, all was one. Yay, beautiful. And then you come into this dimension in this lifetime, and suddenly doing that doesn't work all the time. Like you kind of like, there's something I need to be doing. There's something I need to be going. There's something. And that's the drive from source to say, hey, get into the world a little bit more. Take your physical, like your spiritual oneness, and put it into action into the physical plane. Get a job of some kind, be of service to someone. Do body work, do massage, do chiropractic, do something that's very physical, exercise every day, do weightlifting. Anything that you can touch and use your body with, you need to do every day. Because you spent so many lifetimes out of your body. You were in the flow. Why would you go anywhere else, right? I mean, it's friggin' beautiful.
Mm.
But if you stay there and you don't physically make something happen, there will be a lot of frustration in terms of making your dreams real.
Mm.
So, you know, you having Kevin as a mentor is so great because he's super practical. You know, he's super grounded, right? And luckily you have Sun in Capricorn as well, which might be a shift for you. I'm not sure. Um, which means that you're very practical at heart too, which is helpful. God gave you a blessing. He's like, here's a very practical sun sign to
Mm.
help you with your great connection to spirit and oneness and make it grounded. Oh, not in Capricorn. I'm sorry. I was reading it wrong. Sun in Sagittarius. Okay. All right. Well,
Oh, that's a shift.
that might be a little bit more challenging, actually. Wow, you're a traveler by heart. You're a
Mm.
traveler, you're a teacher, you love the stars, you know, you love to expand and grow and learn new things. Venus, Sun, you have 7 things in Sagittarius. So you're out here, you need to be traveling more, I'm hearing. You need to be like going across the world and just learning and growing and expanding yourself. That's amazing. It's really special. But to bring it back to your destiny point over in this, well, your destiny point's in the seventh house. So here, are you ready for this part?
Yes, I think so.
Okay. All right. So when we have the destiny points in the first and the seventh house, the first house is our identity and it's our self and it's our individuality. And so you have yours, your south node, which is your past. You're very strong in who you are. You know who you are. You have developed this for many lifetimes. And one trick to see how self-developed someone is you can divide the chart in half, and everything on the left-hand side of the chart is the inner self and the strength of their identity. And Andony, you have a lot of planets on the left-hand side of the chart. A really lot. Like one, two,
Mm.
like most of them. So that tells me that you're highly developed in terms of who you are and your individual identity. If someone said, "Who are you?" you would say, "I'm this and I'm this and I'm this," and you would just know. Okay, you're not someone who's like trying to figure out, who am I? You
Mm.
know, you're very good at that. South node in the first house. You're so good at it. It's that muscle that's overly developed. Okay. Your destiny point you're growing into is in the seventh house of partnership, relationship, and marriage.
Mm.
So what does that mean? It means that you're moving away from being so focused on yourself.
Mm.
It's almost like the more you focus on yourself, the more you lose energy. The more you make your life all about Andoni, the more you lose energy. You need a certain amount of it. It's good. It's healthy, right? You need to have your own life and your own focus. You need to be clear on who you are. But your destiny point, what you're growing into, is other people and relationships. And it doesn't have to be like marriage or even romantic relationship. It can be clients. It can be business partners. It can be really good friends, mastermind group. It becomes really important for you to interact with other people. Okay, it's kind of like, I actually have this placement, so I can speak a little bit to this.
Mm.
I didn't find my joy until I started doing these calls with people where I focused on them,
Mm.
where I took all of my knowingness and my knowledge and the strength of who I am, which is pretty strong, and I took that and I put the focus onto you all, who you are. That is when my life started to blossom because my destiny points in the seventh house of other people. So it is through all of you and helping to bring out who you are that I blossom. Right? And so for you, Andoni, when you put the focus onto others, and so that could be as a healer, that could be as a coach. And this is a challenge because when your destiny is other people, it gets kind of confusing because it's like, you mean I have to go get people involved to be happy? Like, well, that's kind of challenging. Like, will anyone come? Does anyone, want to do stuff with me? You are designed to work with people. You're designed.
Mm.
That's actually what you're here for. And so the more you do it, the more you'll be like, wow, that was really easy.
Mm.
It's your weakest muscle. So it might not be something that comes easily to you. It might not be something that you think you could even do at first. Is there some way that you work with people now?
Since a little kid, I've been doing massage for my parents and stuff like that, and a little bit of yoga lately
Mm-hmm.
for other people.
That's perfect. That's absolutely perfect because Virgo is the hand and it's healing. Okay. Are you certified in massage?
No.
I would do that because
Mm.
you could travel the world with that.
Mm.
People would love you. You're very good looking, you have good energy, you have a clean energy. Like this is a group of all women, and I'm happy to have you here. Like
Mm.
I feel like your energy is peaceful, it's balanced, it's calming. You have a healing energy. And so what I'm seeing is that you could take that certification in yoga and that certification in massage, and then you could take it and travel all the retreat centers,
Mm. Huh.
right? And so you'd be helping people with your hands. You'd be
Yeah.
doing something you love, helping others. And you also have Mars in Virgo. And Mars is energy and it's our body. And
Mm.
Virgo can also be yoga. So Virgo can be yoga, massage, anything that is healing oriented that assists the body.
Mm.
Okay. So yeah, I get this such a good feeling
Mm.
because you also have all this energy in the 11th house and 10th house of Sagittarius, which is travel. And so I think to be happy, you have to be going lots of places,
Mhm.
expanding your horizon. So how do you pay for it? Right?
Yeah.
How do you pay for it? And how do you also uh how do you also do something that's in line with your spiritual gifts? And that's what the destiny point shows us, because if you're not doing something in alignment with that, you may find yourself being very unhappy. Right? So I'm so proud of you. I'm always so proud of people. It feels like people tend to just sort of naturally do that thing that's right for them. Sometimes not. And that's where this can be really helpful because they're
Mm.
like, oh my gosh, I need to do this other thing. And that's what I was doing. That's how I learned.
Mm.
Was that I was not doing the thing aligned with me. And how will you know you won't feel good? That is how you will know.
Mhm.
Very clear guidance system, right? Our bodies.
Yes.
So I could see you taking your body work with one-on-one clients as well as at retreat centers and spas. And I could see you becoming very successful with that. Because, and we'll get into this over the next couple of days, what your midheaven is and all these other points that will kind of prove the story that I'm painting for you around purpose and around the things that I'm seeing would be really beneficial for you. And that's why I do these readings, because there's so much good information for you
Yeah.
that you can utilize for what you're doing in your life. And it's so cool because you're already doing it, right? So you're already did you ever think about doing it professionally?
It's almost ineffable how just again, like I commented earlier on a post you, like I've been just looking on your post, your Facebook post, because I just love reading them. It just gives me such a good feeling, and it's very the word I used is accurate, but it's really like just so yeah, I guess accurate, because what you're telling me right now is just so aligned with all these that I'm just working on daily, and it's just almost blowing my mind. So I'm loving hearing all of this.
Yay! I love it. I love it. And that's why I do this, because I know what it was like trying to figure this out, trying to
Mm,
figure out what do I do, right? It's just
mhm.
crazy, like writing and like, oh, what is it? What is it?
Yeah.
And then finally stumbling upon this accurate chart in 2022. Things in my chart changed that changed my life. If you watch day one, I explain it really well. Um,
Yes. Yes.
but yeah, seeing your chart, Anthony, it's like it's so clear to me that if you just like made that agreement to get certified in those things and have them, what you could do with that. You know, you could get a part-time job here, you could teach here, you could start a YouTube channel. It's kind of like I use this chart and then I ask myself, what do they need to do to create the most success? And then that's the answer that comes through for you. And it could be anything anything health related that you do with other people, that you give to you and one other. Okay.
Mm,
Someone else, if it was reversed, it was the first house, your destiny point was in the first house, I'd say you need to focus on you. You see? But
mhm.
because it's in the seventh house of other, it means it's about others.
Yes.
So amazing. So amazing. Well, I'm so happy for you, Anthony. I'm really excited. I like saw a flash of your future and I was like, ah, like this is beautiful. Um, it's just such a gift to give you that. You know, all it really is just to confirm what you already knew.
Mm,
And you already knew. You're already doing it, but it's like that's why I'm doing this event, because we're going to start talking about the North Star, right? We're going to do a North Star meditation. We're going to tune into where our North Star is and what that may mean for our path and our direction. And so what the North Star is literally a go-between us and our higher self. And so a lot of times we struggle with that connection of really anchoring in and knowing exactly what it is we need to do. And so the
mm,
purpose of this 5-day challenge has been to kind of help us all get really clear and kind of blow the dust off between our connection between our hearts and our higher selves, so that line of energy can come through for us, and then we can have so much more clarity on what it is we want to create, right? And it's such a powerful time because the sun is going to be exactly conjunct the North Star right around the solstice. So it's going to be super activated. I was like, let's get us ready for that. Let's get people knowing that it's happening. Let's get us ready for that so that we can receive the downloads that are our birthright from these
mm.
beautiful stars that are there to help us. So way to go, Anthony. We're super I can tell everyone's super pumped for you. I can feel it. Would you all
Thank
agree?
you.
Doesn't he look like he'd be the perfect masseuse and yoga teacher? I would totally want to get a massage, Andy. Like you just have that good energy, right? Especially for women, that's so important. You know, there's some men I would not want to get a massage from. I'm just going to be like perfectly honest. Like I would just not feel comfortable, but your energy is very soothing. It's very grounding, and it makes women feel safe. So I want you to just know that, because as I read your energy, I'm like, gosh, you have the perfect energy for that line of work. Like it really needs to be clean and clear and just it's beautiful. So way to go. You know, you're just being
Mm.
you, and how perfect it is, right? How perfect. Yeah, glad you're here.
Thank
Glad
you,
you're
Lotus. Thank you.
Yes, 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 yes. Excited for more co-creations, right? Okay. Woo! So we have this kind of special coming together of two of our participants. They're friends, beautiful Victoria and Odile. Both of you in Canada? Yes.
Yes, we are. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes, 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 yes. Nice to meet you. I'm so glad that we managed to get through to today. I'm so okay. So who would like to go first? Oh, oh,
You
I'm
could
just
call me Lotus.
thank you. I don't know what it is. I
Can you hear me?
yes.
Okay. Well, start with Victoria, but I would love to see like the mirroring a little bit like
Yeah.
with Andoni, because Victoria and I met. Well, anyways, we have a common employer and we have a lot of things in common. Of one is astrology, and we found out our north nodes are opposite and things like this. So we have a little bit of knowledge, but it'd be fun to have your input and seeing that. But I'm sure Victoria wants to know more of her chart, and then just blend mine because I know a little bit of mine. So I had a beautiful reading with you, Lotus. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, you're so welcome. That was really beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've noticed that people tend to have the same, like their north nodes with their really close friends tend to be doing things. Like this is pretty common actually. And so cool that you have opposite. So that means that you're kind of getting to learn from each other, right? So where one of you is really strong, the other one's really weak, and where one of you is very strong, right? So you have that reversal there. And so that means that you can really help each other, okay? So I'm not sure how familiar, Victoria, you are with the type of astrology I do. I do an unequal house chart, okay? So what you're seeing here is all of the actual sizes of the constellations, and this is the actual length of time that it takes the sun to travel through and the planets through each of these signs. So are you familiar with this type of astrology? Is this brand new?
This one is brand new, but Adil talked to me about that, so I'm
Yes.
good. Yeah, I'm good
Okay,
to go.
awesome. So I found I started doing these charts in 2022, including the unequal sized houses, and it's just been crazy phenomenal. The accuracy, just mind blowing. So I'm really excited to introduce it and share it to you. And so I won't even talk about your sun sign because that's probably changed quite a bit from what it is in the other system. What sun sign were you used to being before today?
Actually, I was doing the Vedic astrology. I'm doing it
Okay.
currently, and Sun it's Aquarius.
Okay, so you're used to that. Okay, perfect. Just wanted to make sure we didn't have any major shifts that you'd never heard of before happening. Okay, cool. And so what you have going on, and this is very interesting, is that you have your destiny point, what you're growing into in Scorpio. And you have it in the second house, which is Taurus's house. And then you have your south node in Taurus in the 8th house, which is Scorpio's house. So you have a bit of what I call a yoga going on, where one way to imagine it is like walking a tightrope. Okay. And so on one side is Scorpio and the other side is Taurus. And so you're kind of being asked to travel between those two energies without falling off on either side. Okay. So Scorpio in the second house is all about building up material possessions. Taurus is the builder. Like, I want to make money. I want to make bread. I want to make pastries. I want to make flowers. I want to make beautiful clothes. Taurus makes things. It makes physical things. And then it likes to make lots of them to create security. And so they'll have big savings accounts and they like to save. And you know, they're like the hobbits in the Lord of the Rings. Yeah. So now what is Scorpio? Scorpio is the complete opposite. Scorpio is all about transformation and letting go and bathing the ego, kind of like letting go of the ego self. So where Taurus likes to build, Scorpio likes to transform and let go. Scorpio is letting go of attachment. It's letting go of things that it no longer needs. So that's a bit of a challenge. So when it comes to making money, because it's in the second house, that's what you're here to do. You're here to make money. You're here to create value. You're here to build security and safety in your life. but you're here to do it in a Scorpio way. So that could be being a shaman. That could be by being an energy healer. That could be by being someone who is a coach or a psychologist. You know, Scorpio is ruled by Pluto. Remember, we went really deep about Pluto being the god of the underworld. So having so much Pluto energy in your house of finances means that you're here to transform yourself and maybe other people's relationship to money and value. You redefine what value is. You redefine what security is. You redefine what safety is. You're kind of here to say, well, let's get to the soul of it. Let's get to the heart of it. It's not about these material attachments. It's about true security. It's about true value. And where does that come from? It doesn't come from the material realm. It comes from the spiritual realm. And so you might be someone here who's here to spiritualize things of the material plane. So, you know, being a shaman or being a spiritual healer or being a transformational therapist, a hypnotist, someone who helps people go into their unconscious. Those are all ways that you could make a really lot of money. And I see that you have it right next to the moon, which is emotion. So that could be emotional healing. That could be working with women. That could be working with your ancestors. It's very, very powerful. How does that land for you? I just got to check in with you a little bit.
Yeah, it's landing well.
Have you had a big change in your work or your career or what you do to make money?
Actually, right now, yeah, I'm studying since October. I'm studying astrology and studying seriously because, yeah, I was always interested, and yeah, it was very exciting for me. But I was saying to myself, no, it's not serious. Yeah, we don't have time to do that. So now, as I'm like, yeah, I didn't listen to my call, but now I feel like I need to do it, and yeah, I understood that it makes me happy, and yeah, that
Yep.
I cannot not do it. Yeah, I can't
Right,
help not doing that.
right, right. So Scorpio is actually one of the signs associated with astrology. I don't know if you knew that. So with your destiny point in Scorpio, you're gonna crave intensity and depth, like like you need it, like a fish needs water. You need intensity and depth, and you need to assist people with their transformation. Right? You can walk into the valley of the darkness with anyone and bring the light there. And that's the power of Scorpio energy, right? And so, you know, I can't help but applaud you for realizing this and for choosing to claim it, right? And that's the soul talking, right? That's the soul saying, that's it, that's enough, period. And you know, you're the second participant I've had who is working very seriously on becoming an astrologer. And those are, you know, people I love to talk to because I train people in astrology. It's one of my passions because it's also very lucrative. It's actually a business that's highly lucrative. And you can make a very good living reading people's charts, and you're also doing an incredible service. And so I've been like, gosh, there's so many people who are waking up who don't want to work a 9 to 5 anymore. They don't want to be in the grind, who want to help people. They want to be of service. And so that's one of the offerings that I also give. And so I'm like, oh, how cool that you're here on this call, because I love meeting people who are wanting to learn, because I love to teach it. I absolutely adore and giving the abilities that I have to others, so that you can take this information and sit down with anyone and just give them life-changing knowledge, right? And so with the South Node in the eighth house in Taurus, this could be other people's money. This could be coming from past lives where you helped deal with other people's money. Maybe you were in insurance, or maybe you were married and you dealt with your family's money. But this can speak of many lifetimes of dealing with other people's money, and maybe a lot of it, because Taurus is the billionaire sign. So you could have come from a lot of lifetimes where you're really good at managing money, especially other people's money. You're really good at accounting and saving and security and, you know, helping other people with their money. But that's not what this lifetime is about. This lifetime is you're saying, okay, I'm done with other people's money. It's time for me to make my own money. Okay. And you're going to make it in a way that involves transformation, that involves healing, that involves depth. Kind of like, okay, I'm kind of done with the mundane material, just blah, 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 spreadsheets and numbers and adding and subtracting. I want to make money by doing something that's transformational, that's at the soul level, that allows me to rise out of the mundane world and into the spiritual realm and have a fat check in my bank account. Yeah. Right? That's kind of what you're growing into. And with it conjunct the moon could mean that you have a certain gift with emotion. Like you have a certain gift with being able to access people's emotion and to speak to their feelings, right? And you also have Neptune really close as well. And Neptune is the divine spiritual essence. It's kind of a godly energy. So as you do your gift, your spiritual gift, and your offering with people, you're able to affect them at an emotional level. And then you bring in the Neptune, which is the spiritual connection to God. So you're kind of hitting a lot of points with what your destiny is here, which is to assist others with building. You might help people with their money. Like you might help, like use astrology to help people with wealth and abundance. And you're shaking. Yeah. Why are you shaking your head? Tell me more.
Yeah, it's actually what I'm going to do because that's what I'm doing. I can like sometimes I can see where people can go. Like, yeah, I can feel it without astrology.
Uh-huh. I feel that. I can feel it in you. That's amazing. I actually had a friend of mine go on a channeling show and they said that he had gifts with wealth, helping people with wealth. And so I think this is a thing. I think with so many planets in Taurus right now, which is physical wealth, people who have those gifts are kind of rising up to the surface because people are asking, like, help, you know, like, and so those who have those gifts are being called, which is you, to take some action on that, which is just absolutely beautiful. And I guess I have to kind of reveal something now. There is a wealth star. And I'm going to do like a whole workshop on this because it's just so amazing. And there's a wealth star known as Rigel. And it's found in pretty much all the billionaires' charts, including Andrew Carnegie and many more. And it is directly opposite your second house, sort of after your Neptune. So you have a high wealth star activating your second house. Okay, so I think that that's a really big deal for you, this money wealth thing. But it's going to be you're making your own money this time, done with making other, like helping other people with their money. It's like you're so done with that, but you're going to be helping others with their money flow and thus making your own money that you can start building up that bank account and growing forwards with, which is so beautiful. I think you're going to be really successful because, and we'll come back to this as we get into the midheaven more, but your midheaven, which is like another purpose point, is Cancer. And Cancer is ruled by the moon. And your moon is conjunct your destiny point. Okay, so that's one reason why your destiny point being in the second house, conjunct the moon, is such a big deal, right? It's not just that it's your destiny point, but it's aligned to your purpose point too, which is the midheaven. So your purpose point and your destiny point are having a conversation, right? So that's why your destiny point being in Scorpio in the second house is such a big deal. Like for someone else, it might not be as big of a connection, but for you, it's amplified, which is why it just feels so like inspiring and excited. Okay. And if, you know, at the end of this masterclass, if there is enough people excited and desiring this, I am open to leading an astrology course for beginners, for people who are interested in getting all the tools they need to teach, or not teach, but to give readings. And I think it will be a decent sized program in terms, like, it won't just be 6 weeks, like it will be maybe 12 weeks, where we'll really go through everything together. So if enough people are interested, I would love to do that. That would be awesome. If not, I'm still going to create a group where we meet and you can ask me questions that you're welcome to learn more about. But yeah, one of my passions is teaching. And if there's enough of you who are like, Lotus, would you lead us through a course? I'd be happy to, and get you all up to like ridiculously high levels of reading charts pretty fast. I already have students who have businesses, who are, you know, on podcasts, they're doing their thing, they're sharing this work with the world, and it is growing. This style of astrology is going to hit the mainstream in the next year in like a huge way. And there's just going to be huge demand because there's millions of people who are getting inaccurate astrology information all the time, right? So it's a huge mission and a huge vision. So anyways, my little ramble about that, you know, you guys can contact me individually if that's something that you're excited about. And as for you, Victoria, I feel like you have incredible wealth giving potential for helping people. And that's such a huge deal because we're coming into a new paradigm where it's time for people to start making money doing what they love. And so if you can be one of those beautiful angels out there helping people to see how they can actually do it. And I think you have the mind for it, where you can be very exact and dialed in about what they need to do. I see you being highly, highly, highly successful with that, which is so cool. Do you have any questions or anything you want to share?
No, thank you so much. Very clear.
Okay. Yep. Fantastic. That's so good. That's so good. Yeah. Well, I'm just going to jump over to Odile's chart here so we can kind of show the difference. And so Odile and you two beautiful ladies, Odile has her destiny point in Taurus and her south node in Ophiuchus, not in Scorpio actually, but in Ophiuchus. But they're similar energies, right? They're very similar. They're both very deep, very intense, very transformational. So they're not too far off course here. Odile, your destiny point is in the third house of communication, which is very interesting because Taurus rules the throat chakra. So there's two components here which are being activated around expression. One is the throat chakra. So that could be speaking or singing. It could also be toning, anything to do with the throat. And then in the third house is our siblings, it's our neighbors, it's our community. When I think of the third house, I visualize us on our daily routine where we wake up and then maybe we talk to our neighbor, maybe we go to the store, maybe we go to the cleaners, maybe we go here and then we go here and then we go here and we talk to this person. And so the third house is all of those small trips that we make throughout the day where we're meeting lots of different people. We're having these sweet little interactions with the checkout person. We're getting a cup of coffee. We're going to the park. We're, playing some music together with the friends. It's all of those daily interactions. And so when the destiny point is there and the south node is up in the 9th house, which is the house of travel, it's the house of foreign knowledge and education, it's the house of growth and expansion, right? that can mean that you come from many past lives of being a gypsy, being a traveler, someone who traveled far and wide. You traveled the world. I'm seeing a ship. You sailed on many ships. You were a teacher. I'm seeing you being very like well known and going to many ports. And yet, this lifetime, your destiny point is in the third house, which is in lots of short trips, our daily trips, right? And so that could mean the emphasis moving from being that big foreign traveler back to the home front, back to your community, back to those people who are near you. And so that is why where you live is so important for you. It's not just about where you live, it's about who lives around you. Yeah, who are your community members? Who are the people at the shops? Who are the florists? Who are the veterinarians? Who are all the people that inhabit where you live? Okay, because one of your big lessons in this lifetime, your destiny point, is learning how to nourish your relationships to your siblings, your relationships to your neighbors, your relationships to your friends, and those around you, those that you go and see every day. So something you might like to do is to host an event weekly or, however often you want, where you have people over for conversation, to meet and greet. The third house is the house of networking. So nourishing connections, but they're not deep connections. They're just that nice, light, superficial, this person does this, that person does that. Now here you go, you're connected. So you're a great networker, you're a great connector. I always think of that Lego set, where you stick all those things, you have all those different colors and you're just building and building and building this huge connection between those little Lego points. That's so cool. So you're that. That's what you're learning. And so with the South Node in the 9th house, you're very used to being isolated. The 9th house is all about going on retreat and being alone, away from everyone, away up on the mountaintop, singing to the stars, right? And so when you have the destiny point in the 3rd house, it means that you're here to bring your gifts back to the world. Ah, you're here to go from the cave to the community center. Oh, what? What do you mean? I don't want to go. I want to stay up here. And that's one of the challenges with the South Node in the 9th house is you don't want to friggin' go into the normal folk. You do not want to go around just the community. Like, what do you mean? That's not so exciting. My knowledge is big and vast as the stars and the sea. Yes, that's exactly why you are being called into action, because your knowledge and your wisdom is needed. It's like you've gained all these pearls and these gems of knowledge. And the world is saying, Odie, Odalie, please come. Please come and share with us. Please bring your gifts of wisdom. And so you're being asked to take those big gifts of wisdom and to condense them into bite-sized tea cookies and sandwich cookies that someone can easily digest. Because what you went and learned is so big and vast as the ocean and the sea. And yet what you're being asked to do is to take that big knowledge and put it into a form that others can digest. So that could be having weekly events where you just share maybe one little thing per time. Maybe it's educational because the 3rd house is also teaching and learning. So you might be sharing and teaching little things that speak to you. And so in Taurus, they could be things about the garden. They could be things about food. They could be things about beauty, like beauty care, beauty treatments, right? How to beautify yourself with natural things like natural ingredients, right? Health hacks that make you more beautiful, food to eat to make you glow. Yeah. And so you're basically being asked to take all your wisdom and all your secret knowledge. Yes, I know a lot of it's secret, and make it easy to understand for the grocer, for the barista, for the librarian, right? The people who are in the mundane world, you're being invited back to. That could also be becoming a writer for like a magazine, or doing video content where you just share a little blurb, just a little piece of information regularly. It's about smaller chunks frequently. That's the third house. Ninth house is big chunks spread out. That's Sagittarius's house, right? And Anthony, that's kind of more where you're going towards with all that. Sagittarius is like big leaps, big, and maybe retreats. But for Miss Odili, you're being asked to bring all that knowledge back to the earth. I know you can still go on retreats. You can take your retreats amongst the teaching part. But the way that I go out and I share information all the time will be very good for you to get into the habit of. Maybe not as much, but just start doing that. Okay. And in Taurus, right, it can relate to the throat, it can relate to singing, it can relate to humming, chanting, it can relate to gardening. Anything throat related, anything beauty related, anything money related, anything physical, tangible, luxury, right? Inviting some people over for tea with like, oh, let's see here, some nice strawberry shortcake and like ripe strawberries and chocolate and tea, like as luxurious and delicious as you want. Okay, because Taurus is the abundance and bounty of life. But the only thing the universe asks is that you bring other people with you. Ah, sorry. I think that's going to be the tricky part. So just ask the universe to bring you the right people who want to learn from you. Because there are people who want to learn from you, that want what you have to share. And so the reason you might feel bad is that you're feeling the people who want to learn from you, wondering when they get to learn from you. Knock, knock, knock. OD. Knock, knock, knock. In the spiritual realm. OD, you're like, I'm busy. They said, we're ready. Knock, knock, knock. Knock, knock, knock. Where's our strawberry shortcake and our tea with your beautiful presents? And literally, you could just have tea and have people over, and it would all take care of itself. You wouldn't have to plan anything because you're a natural networker. So do you kind of get the difference between the two of your charts? They're very different, aren't they? Yeah. And do you want to share? What are you two noticing? Oh, unmute, please. Unmute. There we go. Where'd you go?
Are we there?
You're there, but I can't see your picture now. There you are. Okay.
Sorry. Yeah, it was funny. While you were doing the master class, I was crocheting.
There we go.
So, but what's really so wow. I didn't know that I was in my path, but I taught a class on with a drum circle about 6 months ago on how to balance the chakras with the throat, with singing the octaves like vam, ram, yam. So with all the vibration sounds to go heal each of the chakras. So I just did a little workshop, but it was just so stressful in the sense I enjoyed it, but it was so much preparation and I didn't sleep for 3 nights. And after I was wondering, did they like it? I didn't get really feedback, but they applauded, but no one went to say anything more than that. So I say, oh, all that work for what? And I just think I like being with my little plants at home, quiet and doing my things. Damn, I failed.
No, you did not fail. That's so amazing. I'm hearing that you need to do that like a lot more, actually. Like, but maybe do it online and you could film it yourself. And then maybe you could even sell it or promote it or put it on a YouTube channel, because that sounds amazing. Is anyone else like, I want to be there? That sounds amazing. Yeah, totally.
Victoria keeps telling me, are you going to start telling people and sharing? I go,
That's
well,
right.
one-on-one I do, but I don't like most groups. What's Andone showing us?
Oh, what are you showing us, Andoni?
This is what when you first started. I wrote, "What's my purpose?" and then I just drew a little drum.
Oh,
So we have to go out there and get some retreats going and getting this
Yeah.
world filled with knowledge and well-being.
yes, yes, you have wisdom that you're here to share with a lot of people. Whenever the third house comes out like that with the destiny point there, it means a lot of superficial interactions, right? So you might not be a teacher who has these very deep connections with lots of different people, but you might have a lot of people that you interact with, right? Who you give knowledge to, that there's like a flow and exchange of energy, right?
Yeah.
And so for you, it's about circulation. It's about, and it's funny because I attract so many people with the South Node in the ninth house. I know so many of you, beautiful souls, who are so wise and have so much knowledge, and yet there's a huge struggle with sharing it. That's really what it boils down to. That's the big challenge. And the thing you're learning about is communication skills and how to emphasize connection. One of the other challenges with this placement can be an emphasis for needing to be truthful over connection. And so, like, the politeness of society doesn't matter to these people. They just are going to be truthful for what they feel, no matter what. Okay. And so that's one of the sticky areas where how do you stay truthful and also nourish connection? And both are important. Both are important. But truth at the expense of connection and communication can also be problematic, right? Where if truth becomes too big of a focus, we can alienate people because we're so, defiant to hold on to the truth. And so it's a balancing act. And I'm not saying ever to lie or not be truthful, never. But it's learning how to be very graceful and knowing when to be like, that's it, it's my truth, and I'm walking away. And also sensing, okay, they just can't handle this right now. I'm not going to push this onto them. I'm going to let them be illusioned and delusion over here. And I'm going to create grace, right? And so that's one of the sticky things for South Node in the ninth house, because you're so used to following the truth. Truth above all. That is the ninth house call. Okay, that's Sagittarius as well. Truth above all. Whereas third house is all about communication and sharing. And it's about connection over extreme points of view. And so it's learning how to soften the communication style so as to not to alienate people while also learning how to be in your truth. It's not an easy lesson. It's not easy at all. And my mom has it. And we're constantly talking about this. And I'm always struggling with how do I help her be more socially graceful and stay in her truth. Okay, because I respect both. I respect both and I see both, right? But when you learn, like you've learned today, that learning to network and bring your information to people is so important for you. And that it's that connection with others that really nourishes your soul. And then finding ways to attract people who can hear what you have to say the best. And also learning how to speak in a way that other people can hear. That's where you get the real momentum. Yeah. Is that landing? Where are you at with that?
Oh, absolutely. Because when I did speak, which is always the truth, we call it a truther community. Boy, did I get unfriended all over the place. So I
Right.
guess and then I was trying to think, was it the wrong words? How could they not see it? And then it gets me very emotional.
I know.
I wish people would see it just in my face, like, can't you see this? But yeah, so I have to learn to be more diplomatic and this. And yeah, it's alienated my mother for one, and my brother as well. Because
Right.
he says it's too scary to be around you to hear the truths. Well, he didn't call them truth. Scary to hear you speak. He goes, "Oh
Sure.
my God, it's just over. It's very disturbing." I was like, "Oh, all right."
So what I'm hearing to say for you here is to cultivate a group of people that you can always be truthful with, right? Have those people near you that it's like you just get it and it's easy. And then also work on your public voice around recognizing that you're so powerful and you're so strong that you can scare people because of the strength of who you are. And if you want to create, and maybe you don't want to hang out with these people, and that's okay. You don't
Mhm.
have to hang out with anyone you don't want to, but it's about learning the modulation of energy. That's one of the life lessons with Destiny Point in the first or third and Past Life Point in the ninth. It's just learning how to modulate, right? Instead of always 100% full truth power, which I love it, I do. But with this nodal placement, that's what the lesson is. That's what the teaching is to learn to modulate. When I'm here with who, I do what. That will create the most connection and thus allow me to bring as much information through to them. So it's more about how can you modulate yourself so that the message is heard versus it having to be said exactly truth 100%. How can you learn to communicate in a way that they can hear you? And sometimes that evolves around telling stories or not doing the direct approach, but taking more of a leisurely stroll with the carousel around the park and slowly letting the truth seep in as opposed to be full on. And that becomes the soul lesson with the destiny point in the third house. Not easy. Okay. I get it. I have Mars in Sagittarius. When I want to speak the truth, I want to speak the truth, and that's it. But the lesson for Destiny Point in the third house is about harmonizing. How can I harmonize with the most people and get my message across to the most people? Because the goal is to reach as many people as possible. The goal is to get your wisdom to as many people as need it. And so there's so many different minds and thought patterns and challenges people have in receiving information. It's like a minefield out there these days. Be really careful, you
Absolutely,
know?
for sure. For
So
sure.
so that becomes one of the key challenges. But as you work on it, and a really good book to read, which I struggle with this book, I'll be honest with you, is How to Win Friends and Influence People. That is probably one of like the Bibles for North Node in the third house.
Is that a Carnegie book?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
From
So
around well, yeah.
And so learning how to do the activities and speak in a way that is going to get the most influence. That's what you're learning. That's
Wow.
the big lesson.
Well,
And
I'm
in
glad you're
course,
telling me. I'm glad you're telling me because I was quitting. I was saying, okay, you know what? Enough. It's too much energy and effort to always be shut down. So either it's my delivery or it just I'm feeling complacent in the sense of saying, well, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. I'm not out there. They're wild.
well, you are needed. And when I see a third house North Node, that's a teacher who's here to teach a lot of people. Take your information and make it basic,
Yeah.
which is another challenge. How do you distill this high level wisdom? And maybe one of the challenges with the drum circle was that they weren't ready for the full force of your knowledge. And so what could have helped it is to just dilute it just a little. Kind of think about, who am I teaching? Instead of what I'm teaching, it's the question with North Node in the third house is, who am I teaching? And then learning, because you have such power, right? You went up to the top of the mountain, you spoke with God, you received pearls of wisdom, right? But is the person Johnny who grew up, as a farmer, maybe only got a little bit of schooling, where is he at? How can he receive you? And so the question the North Node in the third house needs to constantly be asking is, how can I be received? Like, is this person, what level are they at how can I speak so that they will receive me? And so that's your challenge, is learning how to be very creative. So maybe you start thinking about people as children a little bit here.
I
And
was just gonna say, maybe at a kid, I would love a kid. I love children. I said maybe at a kindergarten level to
Yes,
learn basic Torian skills and
yes,
just keep it simple. That would give me a lot of joy because I adore children. They're
yes,
just pure love, no
yes,
judgment, joyous. I love that.
yes. Bring children to your strawberry farm.
Yeah. Actually, I
So-
thought, because in Quebec we're in a French province, I
Uh-huh.
thought to do like a 2-hour weekend English immersion because they would love for their kids to speak English. And I
Yeah.
said, just drop them off for a couple of hours and just through play, they're going to pick up on the language. Anyway,
Beautiful.
it just came in my head and of course went out again.
Yes, exactly. Exactly, OD. And that's going to help teach you how to take your wisdom and make it simple. And
Yeah.
that's not an easy practice, y'all. Taking high level wisdom and making it accessible to lots of people, that is a huge, huge undertaking, right? That is like a talent. So that's what your high level training is about this lifetime, is learning how to take that wisdom and make it simple, make it easy, and that's, you got your work cut out for you, right? But working with the children, practicing with them, that's going to be so magnificent for you, for helping build your confidence and your success muscle, that you can teach people, you can share information. Okay. And my heart goes to you because I know how deeply you want to share your wisdom. That drives you. It's just, you have a gift to give. And so I think if you can start ironing out this issue with the receiving of it, and my mom, who has the same placement, has always had this issue too. Oh, it just breaks my heart. It just, and so I really just want to see you being able to get your message to who needs to have it. Start in the garden. Taurus is the garden. Taurus is the gardener. Make it simple. Distill that. And maybe the drum circle with the chakras was so complex and so high level, you need to bring it down to the earth, and maybe you just need to teach drumming, right? Maybe you just need to teach about touch and feel, right? Rhythm. Maybe you need to just bring the complexity down to physicality more. And then people will be able to receive your wisdom through your vibration, and you don't have to do as much work. That's one way to look at it. I don't have to teach them the complexity because I am the complexity. And when I teach, they're getting it all. So I can just be as simple as the raindrops, as the sun, as the sky, and they will receive all the knowledge I have to give. I don't have to make it complicated. I don't have to put work into it. I am enough. I have everything already in me, coming through me for others to have. Yeah, fantastic.
Oh, Lotus, you're something else.
Uh,
You
I
are
appreciate
something.
you.
You're amazing. With all the had many hours together, and every time I appreciate you more and more. You are just truly. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. But now I feel like that thorn came back in my butt.
Oh,
Oh,
I know. That's the destiny point for you. It's like, It's like that lesson that, but if we ignore it, it gets worse. And we'll
Yes.
never be able to get the thorn out. And so the idea is that it just gives us a little poke enough to take action. And maybe this stronger poke will actually get you up off the thorn this time and into movement, right? Because sometimes it can hurt not enough that we don't do anything.
Yeah.
So maybe this will be a nice, strong enough little poke, and it will just get you inspired because the energy just wants to move, truly.
Hmm.
And, you know, I would just say that it gets better and better because these charts are we're always evolving. And so every time we meet, it's almost like a gate opens more and more information comes through for you. And I'm always amazed, Odili, too, because we've worked together quite a few times. I've worked with April maybe hundreds of times now.
Really.
And it's
Always
every
new.
single time there's something more. Something more comes through. It's like the more open you are, the more the knowledge comes through. It's like the more you know, the more you know. Like that. Yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah.
You know, they say to read a book more than once because you change. And so the more times you read the book, each time it's a new book. It's the same thing with our astrology charts. That's right. Like for you, Victoria, as a, beginning astrologer, right? It's not just about one session. It's about a lifetime of using it as a tool. Just like you go to, therapy or psychoanalysis like a million times, you can also come to your chart reading, but you might get more results than in a therapy session because the information you can discover is so accurate and on point. Yeah. So way to go, OD, way to go, Victoria. Kind of amazing, huh? To see each other's destiny points. Was that helpful for your friendship? What do you want to share?
Absolutely. She's gonna tell me after we hang up, I told you so. Hey, Victoria, I told you from the Vedic system, I told you.
Yeah, you told me. Yeah, you were right. Yeah, yeah, it's amazing, really. Yeah, I knew it. Yeah, and you told me.
Even you told me a lot of things that I was like, oh man, she sees it. No, it's phenomenal. But what's amazing with astrology is like you have your own glyph language. Like 95% of the people don't have a clue what you're talking about.
Right.
And start talking, oh, of course that person's like that. He's got his Mercury in Taurus. He's not going to change his mind. And people are like, what the hell's that? And see, just that kind of conversation is a turnoff for my brother, for instance.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
He said, if you start talking astrology, I'm going to start talking fishing. I said,
Right.
oh no.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to tell people astrology is a language just like French or Spanish. And once you know it, then you can share in the beautiful imagery that those symbols actually are, right? Because when I see the sun, I don't just see a circle with a dot. I see the sun, right? Or when I see Venus, I don't just see the Venus glyph. I see this goddess like in this beautiful dress and a beautiful, like you have the imagery, it's like a picture. It's a picture for everything that you're seeing. So absolutely amazing. Way to go, ladies. All right. I think there's some people waiting here who haven't had a turn yet. Let's see here. Is that Dr. Jitsu? Are you still there, my friend? Yes, I think you are, maybe. Okay. Paging Dr. Walker. You there, my friend? No? Yes? No? Okay. Well, in that case, we have talked about everyone. Have I missed anyone? Did everyone get a chance to share? Oh my God, we did it. Oh my God, I'm so proud of us. Okay, well, please, if you're in the live stream, please ask any questions that you might have had from today's comments.
I'm sorry. Yes, I am here. I was looking for my unmute button. Yes, I'm here, but you've been going and I want to be supportive of your strength. So if we need to do something tomorrow, I'm fine.
No, I've been, you have not gotten a chance to dive deep with me. So let's just do this because
Okay.
you've been so patient. You've just been sitting here enjoying the call, and I'm kind of curious because you're kind of a spectacular energy, Dr. Walker. You've been on several
Thank
calls and
you.
you've got a powerful energy and you've got a powerful chart too. So let's do this. And so one thing I just want to point out about the fabulous Dr. Walker is that she has so many planets up in the top rung here. And so when I'm first teaching people astrology, what I will share with them is that above the top line, everything on the top side of the horizon is external. It is the yang. It is how we go out into the world, right? It's how we act. And so when people have a ton of planets on the top half, they are going to be so externally based. They're going to be making moves. They're going to be out in the world. They're going to be the big shots. They're going to be the big business tycoons. They're going to be the leaders. They're going to be the presidents. They're going to be the heads of state. They're going to be the actors and actresses. They're going to be well known. They're going to be famous. Okay. So instantly, you want to know, is someone here to have a big impact on the planet? You look top half, bottom half. Top half, huge impact. Okay. You especially want to look at the 9th, 10th, and 11th houses. And as you can see, they are jam-packed, right? And I can tell you with the Sun and Mars in the 9th house that Dr. Walker is a huge traveler. She's probably been all over this world and she loves to travel. She shines when she travels. She's got Sun in Leo. Sun rules Leo. She's got a huge presence, right? She's got a huge presence. She's a light. She's a bright light. Powerful, and she's a leader with Sun with Mars. Okay, so big energy, midheaven in Leo, ruling planet of her midheaven, the Sun in the 9th house. She's a traveler. She loves knowledge. She loves learning. She loves astrology because she loves to expand her mind, and she shines as an expansion of the mind, right? It's just Jupiter's house, expansion house, Sagittarius house. So much Mars energy, action energy, shining, communicating. She also has her destiny point in the 2nd house. So that's an interesting combination. The 2nd house is money. The 2nd house is material reality. It's building in the material plane. And Victoria, you're familiar with this. That's where your destiny point is as well. However, for Dr. Walker, it's in Sagittarius. And so that's a very different energy. What is that? I mean, Sagittarius is fire. It's the traveler. It's the teacher, right? It's all about philosophy. Sagittarius is not like a big money maker. I'm just going to put that out there. Like Sagittarius loves to learn. Okay, so because it's in the 2nd house, it does mean making money. Okay, but it means making money in an unusual way. It means that making money for Dr. Walker is more about freedom because the battle cry for Sagittarius is freedom. They want to be free no matter what. They want to walk their own path, talk their own talk. They're not here to conform to nobody, no one. And so finances, having that sort of energy around finances would make Dr. Walker a bit of a maverick, right? It would make her a little bit different in terms of how she goes about creating wealth. And, I know a decent amount of Dr. Walker's story, so I don't want to say too much here, but I know that making money has been a big part of her life, which is so interesting, to have the destiny point in the house of money and making money and being wealthy, right? Making your own money because she has the South node in other people's money. Okay, so she has the South node in other people's money and in Cancer. Okay, this is so interesting. What does this mean? So I'm going to go by sign here. I'm going to go by South node in Cancer, North node in Sagittarius. And you can see they're not usually those signs. They're typically like Capricorn and Cancer. But because we have the uneven sized houses, that's why we get Sagittarius to Cancer. Okay, so if you're wondering why they're not directly opposite by sign, that's why. They're opposite directly, but not by sign. So what is South Node in Cancer? Well, South Node in Cancer, Cancer is the home and the family. And South Node means the past. So it's like the weakest, this is the strongest muscle. So with the South Node in Cancer, it would mean, Dr. Walker, that you have a very strong connection to your family. You probably spent many lifetimes as a wife and a mother, where your whole life was devoted to your family. That's what it was about. All right. It was about home and family and connection and love and emotion. And yet, when it's your South Node, it means that this lifetime is not about the family, right? Like, in fact, the family could be what screws you up the most, because the more you get involved with them, the more it actually takes you off of your track and off of your purpose, which in this lifetime is to be kind of independent, freedom loving, building your success through the expansion of the mind, through philosophy, through higher knowledge, through religion and spirituality. Okay. And so the focus goes away from the tight-knit, like family, mother. And it's kind of like, as much as you want to have that family and be connected to the family, that's not where it's at for you this lifetime. It's just, that's like, you've been there, done that. There could be a ton of karma. There could be a lot of stuff there. But this lifetime, it's about you stepping into your own unique individual path, your freedom path, where you're pursuing the spiritual plane, but you're also making a material, grounded, secure future for yourself, where it's about you building your own wealth. And it's not about your family's money. It's not about your family. It's not about your family's stuff. Eighth house. It's about you independently, separate from them, building your own freedom and your own wealth and your own security and your own safety. And so it's a huge shift, and it can be deeply emotionally painful to walk away from the family, because that's emotion. That's emotion, right? The moon rules Cancer. So moon is emotion. Okay. So, I'm going to be honest and frank here that this has probably been one of the most painful, challenging things you've ever had to go through, is this South Node karma, all this past life stuff I'm hearing with you and your family that you felt so tied to. And so, like, family like bonds us more than anything on the planet, doesn't it? The emotion we feel for our mom and our dad and our family is so big that transcending that can be the biggest challenges of our entire lifetime. Okay, so I really want to take my hat off to you, wherever you're at on this journey, for how challenging it's probably have been for you to walk away from all those family ties, because I think that's what you've had to do, like literally, like freaking upended and walked away.
Extremely.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Very accurate.
yeah, I'm kind of blown away because I haven't even looked at this yet, Jisoo. And so, Jesus, oh, sweet Mother Mary and Joseph. When I read about, because I had a dear friend, she's a psychic. I grew up with her, Mary is her name, and she saw my ability with astrology, and she did some trades with me in my early days with astrology. And I was working with her, and she's a gardener, and she had the South Node in Cancer. And she's like, yeah, I have all this stuff with my family. It's like they're always trying to pull me into their drama. They're always trying to pull me into their world like a spider web. And I'm like this bug that got caught in it, and I keep getting pulled in, and then I get totally taken off my path. And so South Node in Cancer speaks to feeling that way, to being pulled off our path, right? Of being the emotion of the family almost being stifling, right? It's like, instead of it being nourishing and supportive and healthy and happy, as most families should be, it's like the biggest challenge. And so your work is learning how to step into your own worth, because the second house is about worth and value. Destiny point, what you're growing into. The worth and value that you need is your spiritual worth and your spiritual value, because Sagittarius is that shooting towards the stars. It's often connected to religion and spirituality, and it really boils down to our connection to something higher. Right? So you'll see a lot of, a lot of truth seekers and philosophers with Sagittarius placements, people who study the higher wisdom and higher knowledge. And it shows here that you can make money doing this. You can actually create stability in your life through this work. And you're going to be very different and unique because Sagittarius doesn't follow anyone's rules ever. So that's kind of cool. You have permission to do that. You have permission to be a maverick. You have permission to go off the track. And the ruling planet of your destiny point is Jupiter. And by Jupiter, you have it in Sagittarius. So talk about being what I would call you as a philanthropist. You're someone, Jupiter is the biggest philanthropist under the sky. It is Santa Claus. Okay, Jupiter gives presents, gives gifts. It's like you are big, right? Jupiter is the biggest planet in the friggin' sky. So it's like you got all these sacks of presents. You just got all these gifts and you just want to give them because
Yes, ma'am.
that is your nature. You're like friggin' Santa Claus, right? You're like the cosmic Santa Claus. You're like the cosmic Mrs. Claus on her beautiful riding through the stars, sending out joy and treasures to all, right? That's what you're here to do, right? So you cannot allow any other this family drama to pull you in because you're here
Yes.
so much. And you know that. You know that. And I know you're strong. And I know you've had to push through with that sun with your Mars. I mean, you've had to fight through, you've had to be courageous, right? Mars is that leadership energy with your sun. It's shining and you've had to just charge forwards, right? And so
So true.
that's so beautiful, right? It's so beautiful. And I just really want to keep encouraging you that you're on the right track, that you're
Yes,
going in the
ma'am.
direction, and that, look at this South Node in Cancer, right? That's your past. That's where
Yes.
it came from. That's what happened, but it does not define you. My past does not define me, right? It
My
does not.
past is not defining me.
That's right. That's right. Because you have a mission. I mean, Jupiter is the millionaire planet and it rules your destiny point. Like you're here to
Okay.
some big old money and then to
Yes.
giving and to be generous. And that's the people who should be making big money, right? Is the people who have the big hearts, who like Andrew Carnegie, who created the library system. I mean, like, how
Yes.
cool is that? That's the vision, right? Is to taking the money and using it for the good, right? And so hasn't been easy? No. Does it have huge potential? Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, this is so spot on. This is so spot on. It's so spot on. Even with the familiarity, and I used to wonder, it's like, well, why is it so normal for me to be the submissive wife? That's in my mind. I've never married, but it has been very, I used to study women who were with men in religion who did not believe in women doing anything. Like I would sit and watch them. But then inside, I would always say, leave me alone. There are things that I want to do myself. And even as a little girl, I would say it to my big family, leave me alone. And I would find a way to get somewhere by myself. And I recently said, after I assist my mother with what's going on with her, I'm gone. So all of this is really resonating with me. And as I said earlier, the what we are and then what we're moving into, it's still us. So I feel really at home, even being able to sit and listen to you unpack this with my other friends that are in our mastermind today,
Yes. Oh my wood. Wow. It's really interesting as you said, leave me alone. Because
Yes.
I'm always working. When you're talking, I'm kind of like finding connections in these charts. It's just what my brain does. And I'm looking at your ascendant in Scorpio. Okay.
Okay.
Scorpio is powerful, right? It's like, don't mess with me. First of all, Scorpio's like, I'll sting your ass, but then But you got Lilith right there, 3 degrees away from your ascendant. And Lilith, this is so interesting, was the first wife of Adam, who said
Yes.
yes, and who said, Adam, I don't want nothing to do with what you're telling me. I'm out.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Uh-huh. So your identity with that energy, when people cross that line or you're done, you tell them and you are gone. Like when you say you're gone, you're gone. Like
Yes.
it's not, no joke. No joking matter. Yeah.
This is powerful. And even financially, I've only worked one job in my life. I've always had an entrepreneurial spirit, always knew how to monetize things for others. And then I would sacrifice and say, well, because I know how, I'll just give everything and help other people. And
Right.
then I start having these issues inside. It's like, no, I need to see about myself. I had a huge betrayal in my relationship and with the organization that I led, and I had no salary. I did that on purpose because, again, I knew how to create wealth. So, all of this is resonating, and it's also healing because the way you go through the charts, it validates the distinct experiences, and it doesn't just allow it to be the woo ha ha out in the air. It actually grounds it. So I'm honored to be your student and be in this mastermind and continue to go further with you. I've always believed that a billionaire, and I've learned it, that billionaires have astrologers.
That's
And
right.
then, the millionaires have bankers. So everything makes sense to me. Everything that you're teaching and saying, even in this, makes sense.
Yeah, I'm blown away by what we're hearing about today with you, Jisoo, because I've been looking at your chart here and there, but it's all kind of landing. And I'm also
Yes.
on to looking at this long challenge zone between your Saturn and the Jupiter. I mean, look at those
Okay.
red lines. That's polarity right there. And there's more
Wow.
too, but this shows me that you've had a huge challenge between, gosh,
Mhm.
between communication, mastery, and then your expansion. It's like
Yes,
you
ma'am.
had to work through some serious karma to get into your expansion. I mean, this to me shows karma. When I see these heavy red lines, especially like
Yes.
Saturn tends to represent karma, and then Jupiter I tend to see as like the gifts that we get as we complete our Saturn. And it's like as we
Okay.
get through the workload and it's like, okay, I've done what I needed to do, then Saturn teaches us the lessons, and then Jupiter, we get the reward.
Yes.
So it can also speak to having Saturn being older age, your big money and your big results come as you get older, right? Like the
Mhm.
second half of life is easier than the first. It's like age brings the ice cream and the cake. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like,
Yes,
woohoo, now,
ma'am.
now it's party time. And so, Saturn can be kind of fun to rejoice in what's coming, as opposed to feeling like, oh, here's Saturn. It's like, yeah, be concerned if you're young.
Yes.
As you get older, it's going to be the blessing. Okay. So, and it's in relationship here. It's in the house of relationship, and Jupiter's in the house of identity. So it's just been this struggle between you owning your identity and who you are and other people, and just feeling this constant conflict between other people trying to restrict you, right? And you wanting to expand. And so
So
it seems
true.
that over time, you're going to learn how to balance, and maybe have people in your life who are maybe challenging for you, but you have learned how to be in your mastery and power. And so you can work together,
Yes, ma'am.
as opposed to it being like a shutdown, like I can't do anything now, right? It'll just be like, okay, I'm big enough, Jupiter. Now your restrictive or your teaching discipline energy is just going to make me better.
Yes. I've experienced that. I've experienced it in the organization, and I realized that I created it to stay safe.
Right.
And as a child, my mom would say, and she needs to calm down. She needs to be quiet. You need to be more ladylike. You're talented, but don't let it go to your head. It was always a restriction being
Ooh,
placed on me. And then
uh-huh.
the giftings that I had as a seer, they a lot of the people in the organization that I was in, they wanted to keep me to themselves, but not
Right.
necessarily introduce me to other places where I could grow and develop. It was more like, you know, how Nicodemus came to Jesus by night, and let me get everything privately, but let's not get you out in the open.
Right.
Yeah, I experienced that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's a big one. Yeah, let me keep this beautiful gem to myself.
Yes.
But that's not possible because you have your sun in Leo, conjunct Mars and Mercury in the ninth house of the friggin' worlds, my friends. The friggin' world, the big world, right? You
Yes,
need to be,
ma'am.
I saw this beautiful woman who started, she's African American, and she started a wine business where she goes around the world and she does tastings and she teaches about
Wow.
wine. And this is very unheard of for the Black community because, wine, it's like this foo-foo thing, it's like super high, sophisticated. And she said she had to work through so much crazy stuff to get out there and share. Yes, wine is for everyone, right? We can also partake of this beautiful, elegant pastime, right? And she was just so beautiful. She was so charming. She was so magnetic. And I was like, my heart was just touched by her. It's like a commercial on YouTube, right? She's sharing her business. And I'm like, gorgeous, like just gorgeous goddess, like out there making waves, traveling the world with her children to teach people about the complexities of wine, right? Using it as, she's like, wine is like food, right? It's a way for us to connect across the planet. I was like, oh my God.
Wow.
I was so moved, especially because we have so many planets in Taurus, which is about food right now. And so food
Okay.
is actually a big topic. It's actually a good thing to. So I know you're an investor. So I want to tell you,
Yes.
with all the planets we have right now in Taurus, investing in wine, investing in agriculture, investing in food, chocolate, high-end luxury items, nature,
Yes.
property, all those beautiful things right now. Trust me, the stock is gonna raise like crazy. You're gonna be like, whoa, Lotus, like that's amazing because we have Jupiter in Taurus, the millionaire planet. We have Venus in Taurus. We have Uranus, the planet of change in Taurus, which means there's going to be a lot of change and innovation and new things happening in agriculture, happening with the land, happening with how we grow food and how we build houses. So everything material based, from clothing to chocolate to goods to food to high end luxury things like luxury retreat centers, you're going to see so much of this like online everywhere. You're going to be like, wow, everyone's really interested in this stuff right now. And that's why, because there's so many planets in Taurus. Um,
Yes, ma'am.
and they're also in your seventh house. So I was telling you the other day, this might be a time you meet some great partners, whether they're business partners or romantic partners or good friends. People are going to be entering your life. And it could be a bit challenging because that sun is shining on your Saturn right now. So you may be going through some challenges with some other people. You might be feeling some restriction in some of your business partnerships.
Yes.
But that's just going to lead to more success because it's just going to illuminate that restriction. And then you're going to grow and become more masterful because you're going to learn from what it's teaching you. Okay. So wherever you
Wow.
guys have about 27 degrees of Taurus, that's where the sun is right now. And so that means it will be activating you. So I think, Victoria, that's in your eighth house, right? So you could be having things around other people coming up. And Andony, let's see, your Taurus would be, let's just go through this real quick. Where do we have the sun in everyone's chart right now? It's so important. Kate, if you're watching, it's in your midheaven. Victoria, it's right there in your eighth house, right? And April, it's in your third house, right near the IC. So that could be home and family stuff coming up. and OD. That will be, oh my gosh, it's like directly conjunct your destiny point today. So that's one reason you got such a full-on little treatment, is that sunlight was just shining on it so strong. That's amazing. Okay, let's see here. Sometimes I have so many charts. Okay. Oh, and Endony. Okay. Taurus, Taurus, Taurus. Wow, right on your house of home. So your home and family. Um, have you been thinking about moving?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. So I don't even know why I ask things sometimes, but the sun being there could be a shift in home, right? Like home is being activated. You might get some better ideas of places that are better for you. And
Okay.
with Taurus in the fourth house, you really do well with beautiful places to live. Like you need to live in nature.
Mm,
You probably need to find somewhere in nature, whether that's maybe at a retreat center, right?
mm,
Somewhere really beautiful, but that's really important for you. Okay.
mm.
And then let's see here. I think that's everyone so far. Okay. So coming back to your chart, Miss Beautiful Jisoo, how are you doing out there?
I am just super. And the thing you just said about the sun shining on my Saturn and restrictions, I have been trying to find a way to back up the car with my attorney, because there are deals that are being made, and I think I'm overwhelming him. And we did a deal on Friday that was 1.3 million. He had an emergency surgery, dropped out, and I didn't know where he was. And I had all of these clients waiting. And I was like, oh, no, 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 because my word is my bond. And I believe in giving people exactly what I say when I say it. And I was like, oh, no, no. But being with you and Michael, it allowed me to release a lot of that, and the rushing or the frustration in having to wait. I realized that that was a fear. So I
Right,
began to, as we were in our healing sessions and tapping, allowing that fear to go.
right.
Yeah, so that whole my son being on the Saturn is big. And then thinking that there's an energy that comes to me like everything is the end, everything is death, and that's not true.
Hmm,
That's not true. It may be a hiccup, it may be a dead end or something like that, but
right.
there's always other options. There are other things that can be done, and that's what I'm learning now.
I do have to tell you that Pluto retrograde, right, which is the planet of death and transformation, is in your second house, and it will be for
Okay.
several months, okay? And so it is retrograde right now. So that could be part of what's going on, is that you're being asked to kind of clean up some really deep buried stuff in your finances, and that could be emotional, that could be in your past. Um,
Yes.
that's deep underground, right? It's just it's a bit volcanic, I'm hearing, because Pluto is volcanic. It's what's buried deep in there and it's powerful, whatever it is. And Capricorn is business and it's
Yes.
structure and it's CEOs. And so I get the sense that you're going to be growing into a much bigger version of yourself in the next year. But that
Yes,
right
ma'am.
now, with that Pluto in your second house, you're having to just kind of go deep, and maybe death is coming up because Pluto is the planet of death, right? And part of this cycle for you is facing that deep death or loss of what was, so
Yes.
that from the past, so that you can build from a fresh place. And there's probably just a lot of layers, because the deeper it is, the more layers there are for you to start to begin to let that stuff come up and friggin' out. Finally,
Yes.
finally out. And so if there's delays, if there's slowdowns, I would invite you to see them as God giving you these opportunities to deep
Okay.
clean. It's like you're doing deep cleaning around your finances, around wealth, so that when
Okay.
that big money, as it comes in, you're clean, you're ready to receive. The other thing I need to teach you, and this is huge
Yes.
for everyone. Okay, you're going to love this. I came across this information from an amazing channeler about money. And she said, why do we reject money? Why do we push money away? And she said, one reason is because we're super, super psychic. And money is not energetically clean. And so when money starts to come towards us, the larger it is, the more the energy is. We feel all the karma attached to that money of every single person who ever touched it or were ever in possession of it. And that can feel like way too much crap, if you get my drift.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so what she said is that we may be subconsciously blocking money because we sense the karma that's in it coming towards us. And we go, whoa, 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 right? Stop.
Mhm.
And so how do we stop ourselves from stopping ourselves? Yeah, with money.
Yes.
Yes. And so what she taught, yeah, it is really wild, isn't it, April? I know this was life-changing for me. So she teaches a little practice. You want me to share that with you? It's really quick.
Sure.
Okay. So what I want you all to do is we're going to build a money purification gate. Okay. And so we're basically going to erect an energetic pillar of light that we place all around us, that we set the intention now today that any money that's going to come through to us has to go through this white light gate. Okay. And so we're just all going to imagine a gate of light. It's like a beautiful gate. I'm seeing just like a beautiful golden gate. And in the middle is this pure, vibrant white light. Like it's just so beautiful. It's so vibrant, it's so full. Okay. Good. And now you're going to imagine money coming towards this gate like a river, like it's flowing towards you. Okay. And now this gate is there, and all that money is going to come through that gate of white light. And so as the beautiful money comes towards you and it's full of all the density and heaviness, it now comes through that white light gate into your body through the white light gate. And so as it goes through the white light gate, it gets completely cleansed and it gets completely purified. And then as it comes to you, that it's just pure energy. It's clean. You've washed it. It's been totally purified. It's been returned back to its natural energy form. And you're going to imagine a beautiful basket that is your money container. Okay, so what does your money container look like? Because as this money comes to you, it has to go somewhere. Okay, so I want you all to just tune in and see, what does your money container look like? Okay, how big is it? What do you notice? What is it made of? Very good. Good. And as you see what it is, does anyone want to unmute and share what your money container looks like and how big it is? And if not, that's okay too.
The big basket.
It's a big basket. Okay, how big is it about?
It's like a kind of like a where you put your clothes. Like
Okay.
it's pretty
Oh,
big.
it's pretty
I was
big.
I was
Yeah.
putting 10,000 stacks in it.
Okay. Fantastic. Fantastic. Okay. So when I first started, I noticed my money basket was like that big. It was so tiny. And I went, oh my God. And so what I want to invite everyone to do, whether you're here or at home, is I want you to invite you to grow your money basket a little bit. So I just want you to tune into your money basket, whatever it is, notice what the material is, notice what it's made of, notice where you feel it in your body. And I just want to invite you to allow it to get a little bit bigger. Just kind of playing with, how can I allow a little bit more space in my money basket, and just play with that feeling of just allowing it to just be a little bit bigger, a little bit fuller, to be able to hold a little bit more. Okay. And I'm just going to make the command that anything and everything blocking your money basket from growing, becoming larger, everything that brings up or lets down, super conscious, please scan and treat and do a complete change history. And everything is needed, levels 1, 2, and 3, preventing your money basket from being bigger. Breathe in and out. You might yawn. You might stretch. Fantastic. Good. And just notice that energy shifting and notice your money basket getting a little bit bigger and anything and everything preventing you from feeling so safe and grounded and supported and secure with allowing your money basket to grow just a little bit bigger. That's right. We ask Superconscious to scan and treat anything preventing this. Do a complete change history, levels 1, 2, and 3, and everything as needed. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. You might yawn, you might stretch, just let the energy move through you. That's good. Notice the shifts. That's it. Breathe in and out. Super conscious, please treat the front chakras. Please treat the back chakras. Please treat the dantians. Please treat the meridian. Please treat all the energy centers. And please scan and treat any issues or difficulties or challenges with allowing that money basket to grow just a little bit bigger, just a little bit larger, to contain a little bit more. Super conscious, please scan and treat levels 1, 2, and 3. And everything is needed. The highest and best way in the highest and best order. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Feel the expansion, feel the energy moving through your body. Allow it to grow bigger. Deep breath in and out. You might stretch, you might yawn, you might let that energy move through you. That's right. Good. And now just tune into your money basket and just notice, or your container, whatever it's made of. And just notice maybe it feels a little bit bigger, more spacious. And now I want you to bring your attention back to that beautiful white light gate. Now we're just going to make the command that this beautiful white light gate be placed in front of us at all times, and that any money or wealth that comes to us must first always energetically be purified and sent through that gate before it can come into our money basket. And anything and everything preventing that, super conscious, please scan and treat, do a complete change history, and everything is needed, levels 1, 2, and 3. And just notice you might need to yawn a little bit here as the energy moves through you. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Fantastic. And now visualize so much wealth and abundance, your divine inheritance from the universe, money, jewels, divine abundance flow coming towards you. And see your beautiful white light gate of beautiful, pure white light, and see that money, however much you wish to call in, coming through that white light gate, being completely cleansed, completely purified, and being now turned into pure white light energy, clean, loving, nurturing, nourishing, allowing you to buy the things that support you on your life path and your purpose. Seeing that energy coming through, landing in your money basket. Seeing your money basket get larger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And just feel yourself filling up with the nourishment of money now. And how clean and pure it feels. How new and fresh. Totally different experience than you've ever felt money being before. That it can be feel your money basket grow even bigger, even larger. And take a nice deep breath in and out. And I just ask for complete divine unconditional love and light healing for all of you around your ability to receive money, clean, clear money, and anything preventing that. We just ask for complete change history and everything as needed. Levels 1, 2, and 3. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Good, deep breath in, deep breath out. Good, and just slowly coming back into your body, into your being, filling up with more and more wealth and abundance energy, seeing that money coming through your white light gate. And filling up into your money container, and just how easeful and effortless it is to receive. And we just command that this new energy shift be applied to absolutely everything in your 3D universe. from your bank account to your money flows, to your relationships, to your business partners, to your teams, just applying all this vibrational knowledge and shift you've now made to everything in your 3D universe, so that as you walk forwards in life, you'll be walking forwards on a golden path. Everywhere you walk is the golden path in front of you. And we just ask God to now bless you with all the divine spiritual gifts that you need to actualize receiving this wealth and this abundance in all areas of your life, in your world, filling up more and more and more, taking a nice deep breath in and a nice deep breath out. And just feeling those beautiful spiritual gifts coming through for each of you around creating more wealth, more abundance, and doing what you love, following your soul path and your soul purpose, and receiving divine wealth, abundance, and inheritance. That is your birthright for doing what you are here to do, for your gift that you are here to give this planet is worth so much. It's so valuable when you do what you are here to do. It is just so freaking valuable, and just feel that value coming to you as you choose what you are here to do. And what a gift that is. And take a nice deep breath in and a nice deep breath out. And just filling up with that pure, divine, unconditional love essence of you doing what you are here to do. Loving every moment of it. Feeling that through every level and layer of your body and being, through all directions of time and of space. More and more and more. Deeper and deeper and deeper. Letting it now integrate in through all the levels and layers of your consciousness, taking a nice deep breath in and a nice deep breath out. Coming slowly back into your body, back into you. Stretching, yawning, feeling that white light gate all around you. The joyful abundance that is our birthright flowing in, wealth, abundance, riches. So we align to purpose. So we align to what we're here to do on this planet, which is what this 5 days is all about, is getting us plugged into who we are. What is our destiny point? What is our midheaven? What is our soul, our sun sign? What are we here for? What is our North Star? How can we allow ourselves to be guided towards what we're here to be, do, and have? And so today was all about that North Node, that destiny point, learning about who we are, why we're here, what are we learning? And just feel and sense and perceive how all of the things we learned today can now be applied out into your life, and begin to feel so excited for what's coming. Just beautiful expansion as you align to you. Yeah, as you choose you, there's just so much beauty coming through. So, so beautiful. And just slowly coming back, feeling absolutely amazing, and bliss, and joy, and happiness. Because when we're in truth, we're in love. And when we're in love, we're in truth. And when we align to who we are, that is the combination of our truth and love coming together. And that's how we know when something's true and right. Is when your whole soul is just like smiling. So I'm super excited to be here with you all. And I'm super excited for the next 3 days. We have 3 more days. We have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I mean, we're just getting started. This is only day 2. Can you imagine where you're going to be on Friday? How? Totally, totally. And so that's why I do this readings, and that's probably why, Victoria, you want to do this too, because it is so powerful to align us to who we are. And it is so helpful And when you combine it with energy healing, it just kind of becomes a bit unstoppable in terms of us getting to where we're meant to go, which is why we are here, is to get to where we're going. So tomorrow is very exciting. Today we went over the destiny point, and then tomorrow night, we're going to look into our sun signs, and we're going to look into our midheaven, because the midheaven is the highest point in the chart related to where we shine the brightest. So now that we know the life lesson that we need to work on, let's start building up to what our soul presence and our soul shining energy is, so that we have a better sense of what we're here to create. And then we're going to look into the North Star over Thursday and Friday. We're going to start to do a meditation that is going to connect us to the North Star. We're going to find out where our North Stars are and start aligning to the intermediary star between us and Source. That's what the North Star is. The intermediary between us and all that is. So if you want to get more clear, you want to get more dialed in, you want to have greater access to the answers faster, that's where we're headed, now that we have a clear idea of our destiny and our purpose. So I look forward to tomorrow. Hopefully it will be an easier day for me and we'll just be able to start finally. That's what I said yesterday, but who knows? I think it's because this is so powerful, right? I think that this much power for transmission sometimes has challenges, but we'll get through it. We'll get through it. And you all did amazing. How's everyone doing out there? Is everyone doing good? Happy? Excited? Yes.
Wonderfully.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. You guys, you all are so awesome. I'm so grateful for all of you. You're wonderful to work with and share knowledge with. You're all coming from your hearts. You're all in the right place. I'm ecstatic to be here facilitating this for all of you. Truly am. If you have any questions or comments, please send them to me and I will get the replay is up. We've been live, so you can go access it as much as you want at your fingertips. And go and maybe do some journaling tonight. Maybe write down some things cognitions that you had, things that came through to you. And tomorrow I'd love to hear shares. Just what kind of got birthed for you from all this information? What came through for you? What doors got opened? What pathways got illuminated? Where are you going to go next? That would be lovely to hear from. Yay, April says she has so much to share. And Odalie says, thank you, Goddess. Well, yes, thank you, Goddess, right? Yes, thank you, and thank you, and thank you, and thank you, and just ongoing. just ongoing, because that's how love works. And truly
And
love
we
it.
send that love and healing back to you too.
Thank
So
you.
you can have it as you rest tonight and as you prepare for tomorrow. But we want all of what you did for us to go back into you too.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, I'm sure it will. I can feel it already. So absolutely beautiful. And this is a beautiful time. I mean, we have Venus, the billionaire planet. We have the sun. We have Mercury, all in Taurus right now. It's so beautiful. I mean, it's the love planet. It's the sun. It is communication. We're in such a sweet spot to be doing this work. And so I think I'll dive a little bit more into that tomorrow, since we'll be looking at our sun signs. I might also look at sun sign and Venus sign, because sun is soul and Venus is money. So I think we'll look at how we shine and how we express our billionaire energy, which will be really exciting because we all want to do what we love, but we all also want to make a ton of money so that we can help others, so that we can help ourselves, so that we can have a roof over our heads, so that we can feed our families. So this is such important work, and bringing our soul and the flow of abundance and money together, I think, is where we're truly headed on this planet, which is like so exciting. It's so beautiful. So I send you all so much love, and I cannot wait for tomorrow to hear what has come through for all of you, especially if you have some amazing dreams. And feel free to leave comments in the 5-day challenge group and share what your experiences were like tonight. So other people might get excited and want to join us, because the more people, the more amazing insights we can get to, and the more people can be supported. So I send you much love, and I will look forward to seeing you all tomorrow.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yay. Thank you, Lotus. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That was amazing.
Love everybody.
Love you guys.
Love you all.
Biggest
Bye-bye.
love you all. Mwah, mwah, mwah.